I thought you said
No, it's
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Let me know. We can work something out.
Oh, wine.
Leaving the people
right, that makes
joining
more
and
sense.
what people are doing, all that stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there is
Yeah. Oh, that was a cool. Didn't know I did that. Cool.
Yeah, it does.
You heard the intro. Oh, that
Anyway.
was cool.
Anyway, so last time you guys entered the library and faced off against the defences within the library, the first of which was an easy puzzle, these pillars crashing against each other, and Mazzy fired an arrow, got you through. Second one, however, was a little bit harder, but through the efforts of the party being quite good at fighting shit, you managed to get through. Doc was unfortunately downed, and so was Oramis, and Oramis came somewhat close to death. But
Popped his knee.
Doc,
fifth attempt.
Doc did realise that these things were being spawned from this glyph in the middle of the room, and could therefore, if he wanted, if so chose, crack the glyph, meaning that no more elementals would spawn over time, which, believe you me, has probably made things so much easier for you guys. Definitely made things so much easier for you guys in the long run. When we left off, Oramis had just had his kneecap sort of popped back into place. You do suffer from a minus 5 feet of movement until your next long rest. But
the guy who can dash on his bonus action.
But you are all up. You are all ready to move on down this quite long, quite long corridor. This door on the other end of the room has spawned. It's very much like the one on the other side. It has these sigils and runes on it, sort of dwarven runes of knowledge and things like that. So you can head on should you wish, unless there's anything anyone would like to do in this room.
Rubbish room.
Rubbish room.
Once everyone is functional, I think we had a big healing session right at the end of last session. So let's go.
Cool.
As we walk out the room, I'd just like to, having come so close to death, I just need to tell everyone about Oramis' funeral plans.
Okay.
It's what Luke's been doing all week.
Should I die, I want to be buried at sea with Mazzy shooting a flaming arrow at the boat to light it on fire as I drift off into the ever lands of peace.
Can I ask if I use a seismic arrow?
No, you cannot use a blade seismic arrow.
Once he's done his arrow, can I do a fireball?
Yes, you can fireball.
It's looking quite somber, sort of boat sort of burning away, and then just boom.
It will be a level 5 fireball.
Unless you've got a higher level spell slot
By then,
when he dies.
I don't know.
Imagine that, just like a 9th level fireball.
Not sure how much.
Everybody else dies at your funeral.
Fireball goes off, ignites all the gunpowder they left on the ship, cannons go.
Especially if it's been a while since it's been used fireball, because I have an itchy trigger finger. It's going to be like straight out the dark, fireball.
Did it twice last session, what are you on about? Anyway, so you can head off into the next corridor, which leads quite a long way down. Like the last one, it has these sort of sconces that light up just as you pass and flicker away as you go away, and you head down this quite long corridor, and you're walking down for maybe 5-10 minutes down this sort of somewhat spiraling area. The stonework in here is a lot nicer than it has been throughout the rest of the place. Sort of tiled with again sort of these runes and sigils of knowledge and sort of these laws of the dwarves and the what's the word, like sort of codes of the dwarves, be strong in battle and things like that. And as your
Commandments, rights, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, code was right, but
sort of like that kind of thing. And as you, that's it, tenets, that's the one. And as you head down to the very, very bottom, you find yourselves in front of a very, very large iron door. This iron door is very, very plain, sort of double door. Anything you'd like to do? Is it just this sort of very, very big, very, very big giant door? It's about 10 feet tall, double door.
Can I push it?
Yes. You just walk up to it, push it. As you place your hands on it, this sort of blue line of arcane energy seems to sort of glow all sort of around the door, and then on its own, it seems, it just sort of creaks open, and you find yourselves in
No
a
problem. I'm
room.
not joking. Do you know, if Ben wanted to, he could murder you so easily. He could put some sort of like necrotic curse on the door and you'd be dead.
I mean, I was
You can
very
nearly
worried
kill
when
me
we were
with
at the top of
those
that
spikes.
tower.
Yeah.
I was extremely worried for a TBK where I just throw all of you off the top of the tower
I was
because
worried
none
about
of you
that.
would, because none of you are ready.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you open this door.
A harsher DM probably would have killed us all there.
Oh yeah,
Just
probably.
gone, you're an idiot.
Yeah, probably.
And we all would have hated Luke. But it's fine. We didn't die, so we still like you.
That's good.
I mean, debatable, but
So you find yourselves in this
Savage.
very, very large room, which you quickly discern as a library. It does not have a
No combat.
You enter this library and are immediately awestruck by the grandeur of it all. It's a huge room, easily a couple of 100 feet long and about the same height as well. It's about 100 feet wide as well. It's much longer than it is.
Can I arcana check the door just to see if that was like detection magic or something?
You can, yeah.
Because we need to hurry up. That's a 24. We
That's
need
a
to hurry
24.
up in here if that was like, if it knows that we're not supposed to be. I mean, we've set up sentinels anyway.
So 24, you sort of looking at it the way Oramis sort of just merely placed his hands on the door, it seemed to open on its own. It's a very, very big, heavy door. It seems to be just a sort of thing of you've got past the trials, therefore you must be allowed in here. Therefore, I'll help you with the door. Sort of.
It's a heavy
sort of thing. Yeah, it's a big, heavy door. You know, people walking all the way down here. It's the least the door could do.
I'm concerned about the door's sentience at the moment.
It's a very polite door.
Along each wall and evenly spaced down the room, there are bookcases easily like 50 feet tall in height. Down the room, also evenly spaced, every sort of 30 feet or so, are these large, thick columns that stretch from floor to ceiling. Some of these columns have doors upon them, which is a little bit weird, and plaques above each door describing what's inside. It's a little bit weird because obviously there doesn't seem to be much room for a room within these columns. Don't know why there's a door on them, but whatever. Near the centre of the room, there is an opening in the sort of lines of bookcases, where there are several glass showcases, armour sets, and weapon racks. What would each of you
Let's
like
get the weapon rack.
to do? I mean, you can do if you'd like to.
I'm gonna go to the books. I think.
Go to the book. Go to the books.
Go to the books and
Go to the books.
have a little look at what we're after, amongst some other things.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think
Investigation.
might as well.
That's dreadful.
14.
I just said
So
that
what
twice.
is...
Tell us something about
Ah,
I did say it just before we rolled it, but that doesn't matter.
roll me an investigation yourself
Yeah.
to see if you can give him advantage, because you did say after the roll.
That's good.
All right, I'll allow. I'll take the 24. So what is it you're looking for? So you don't immediately find. First of all, how long are you guys spending down here? If you think it's probably been about half an hour going down. It was about 8 o'clock
Yeah.
when you went into the library.
So was it?
Half an hour going down. You have until 10 o'clock. So you have about an hour and a half.
What happens at 10 again? Sorry.
It's the curfew of the dwarven section of the city,
It's fine.
and it's when the guards come into the library.
Oh,
It's not fine.
it's not fine.
It's not fine.
So it's 8:30.
So it's about 8:30 now.
So I think, and the cut off is 10.
Cut off at 10.
So we probably want to spend 45 minutes in here. We can get out quicker than we came in. So
Yeah.
maybe yeah, about an hour. That seems reasonable. Gives us half an hour to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So what exactly are you looking for? You don't immediately find anything to do with the Underdark in terms of looking at the books as you're sort of going past. But is there anything else you're looking for? Is there be some other stuff?
Books on divination and how to kill Tiamat.
Books on divination and how to kill
Weapons
Tiamat.
to tackle gods, I think was what I said.
Cool. So
I'm sure those books are regularly available.
books on divination.
Artifacts that strengthen people, because we're not on that level. We need some shit to help out, I think.
Books on divination. You can find a book which is somewhat sort of bound very, very poorly. It seems to be a very, very old spell book of a very, very old Lord of Hawksmoor who was into divination magic and thought it was the way to basically make Hawksmoor the capital if he could use divination magic to learn the future of everything. Unfortunately, he failed. He kind of got bored with it all, but he did manage to learn a couple of spells, and you do find a spell scroll of the spell Augury.
Ah, okay. That's
within
neat.
Within there, so you're able to find one of those. And stuff to kill gods. So you're looking around these bookshelves, and you do find this one strange book that's in here. It does seem to be a bit more of a sort of fictional book with the quite nice illustration on the front. And the book itself is called God's Bane, but it's not. It's written
what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it's not in common. It is in Dwarvish, but the name of the author is a draconic name.
Okay.
So possibly written by a dragonborn. So a little bit odd why they have this down here, but whatever. This book details the story of basically what seems like the ex-god of treachery, villainy, thievery, trickery, all that sort of mischievous stuff, called Mask. Now, Mask was a humble god, but he wasn't really liked by many of the others because he was a lot more tricksy and a lot more devious and things like that than a lot of the others prepared him for. And in this book, in the first sort of chapter, it details how Bahamut killed Tiamat, which is a bit weird because this is the first time you've ever actually heard Tiamat written down in any book that you've ever read. So this book must be pretty damn old for a draconic sort of reading. Reading through, you learn that obviously Tiamat killed Bahamut. It's not the way you learned it. No, yeah, Tiamat.
Tiamat killed Bahamut, or Bahamut killed Tiamat?
Tiamat killed Bahamut. Sorry, if I said it the other way around. So the way you guys know it to be is that Bahamut went to Tiamat to speak to her about the way she'd been treating her subjects, the chromatic dragons, and how she'd been basically turning them all evil through sort of asking for tributes and things like that. However, in this book, it is detailed that Tiamat was on a tyrannical rampage, and she just straight up just randomly attacked Bahamut during in the middle of this rampage, and unfortunately killed him. The gods were very
fully killed him, or just killed his avatar or whatever.
Like fully killed him, straight up dead. The gods were obviously very, very upset by this, but in order for Pelor and Mars, the god of war and stuff, to banish Tiamat, they needed a weapon that would be strong enough to get her. And this weapon would be known as God's Bane. It was literally a scale of Bahamut, so a platinum dragon, a sort of godly platinum scale, forged into an alloy of a blade.
Oh, Mazzy, you can have that. If we find it.
Into what seems like a sort of longsword. Mask, being a devious god, but also knowing that the gods now had a weapon that could just kill other gods, was very, very scared because he knew that he wasn't liked by any of them, and if any of them wanted to be a bit trigger happy, he knew that he'd be the first one that they'd go to. So he stole it, and in the disguise of Kothar, the god of the forge, commanded a cleric to basically make him a weapon that looked exactly the same. Swapped it out for Mars, and he went.
What was he disguised as? The god
of the forge, named Kothar, Kothar. In this disguise, he swapped out the blades, God's Bane, for the fake one, and went down to a place he knew the gods probably wouldn't find him, called the Shadowfell.
Oh, that sounds worse than that.
Yeah, the Shadowfell, a place of very, very little light, very little life, and just a very generally dark place.
Sounds really nice.
In exchange for protection from the gods, he gave the Raven Queen, the leader of the Shadowfell, God's Bane.
The Raven Queen has God's Bane.
The Raven Queen, supposedly, according to the story, has God's Bane. The rest of the book is basically just about Mask's adventures in the Shadowfell, how he defeated ghosts and spirits and wraiths and all sorts of stuff with God's Bane and have fun with it, before eventually the Raven Queen was like, alright, now give it. And he eventually did. And he lived out the rest of his miserable life down in the Shadowfell.
So is he the predecessor of Bolus?
He is.
Okay.
Oh.
So
We got
if
an
you want,
in.
if you want, you can make an Arcana check for me, just
love to.
really quick.
Can't
that
wait for this
the-
to be rubbish.
You watched Critical Role, haven't you? Is that
Yeah.
the Raven Queen from that
Hmm?
same sort of realm?
Yeah. Well, the Raven Queen is from the
The book,
general D&D thing. Yeah. So it's a lot of the stuff. Yeah. So you're looking at this and you're, Mask. This guy sounds a lot like
Yeah.
Dolus. Cool. All right.
Cool.
I guess he was a predecessor of some sorts. But that's about.
Any chance I can
can't
think
really-
a bit harder?
Maybe not, but maybe other people can make religion checks if they wanted to know anything more about that sort of thing. But otherwise,
Good point. Actually, I've got +4 more clarinet, so might as well.
I mean, if you
Nah,
want
might as well.
never mind. So yes, as far as you're aware, this blade known as Godsbane is hidden down in the Shadowfell with a being known as the Raven Queen. According to this fictional fantasy book, that is.
We found a dingy library.
For
You found
all
it
we
in
know,
the-
we could have just found Harry Potter and thought that was rubs.
But yeah, that is.
And that- It's not been used to kill a god, but it was
It
taken.
was-
it
it
was
was
forged from the
used-
scale of Bahamut.
It was used by Mars and Pelor, well, mainly by Mars, to banish Tiamat down into the ninth flare of hell that she is currently in.
At risk of stating the obvious, this sounds rather useful.
Yeah.
I have a skill which could allow us to just acquire it like that.
Oh, what do you have?
Oh,
Divine intervention.
Okay.
I can just ask for things and there is a chance that I get them.
that sounds very useful. We should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all just going to sit there and lift the dog.
Alright, well, I'll sit down, kneel down, have a little.
Do you want to be out in the open? Or how does it walk to you?
I don't know. I've never.
A courier is going to struggle to get down here.
I don't know. Never used it before.
One
so-
thing I would say is that within the book, it does seem like the Raven Queen is an almost godly being. She has the power of a god, but is not, as far as you guys are aware, a god.
Nay dramas.
We
So-
deal with them on the reg.
Yeah.
You can, you can still,
I can still try.
you can still try.
I
it,
think
and
we should do it somewhere where we're supposed to be, not somewhere we're not supposed to be.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
If
no,
we're not-
like
can I, Can I look for shiny?
You can indeed look for shiny. Roll an investigation or perception, either Roy. So one around. So 15 investigation.
Sure,
Yeah. So you can
perception.
find, especially in the centre of the room near these glass cases, a lot of very, very fancy artifacts. The diadem of the Lady of Hawksmoor back like hundreds of years ago.
Can I take it?
You you can.
What was it? You've just taken the Doc's looking at books or whatever, and you've just taken the bag of holding, and you're like, yes, yes.
You can, however, you will need to
Oh.
unlock the glass case that it is in.
Okay.
How many lock picks do you have?
I've got 5. I bought loads before we came down, just in case.
Just in case.
Is that divine intervention? Is that from your god?
Yeah.
Who is? That's it.
How do I do lockpicks? It's
I can literally
put
put
these two.
long
Can I have this
thing
thing?
down.
Yeah. As in
I
a
roll.
percentage chance.
Okay.
I roll a d100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
you
found
you sort
Oh,
of
God.
you see the shiny. You sit down and
I
just
take
sort of
the shiny.
you can just sort of see Oramis's eyes very cartoon like popping out of his head when he's like, oh yes, and just fueled by this.
Do
need
I
for
see
it.
him doing this?
no.
Make a perception check. It is a very large library after all.
No.
Not quite, no. Oramis seemed to have... actually, no. Now Oramis make a stealth check.
Or
Oh, it's
Check
not
your
yours.
screen.
It's not your special actually. Oh yeah.
15. There we go, yeah. You
So
see
you plus
Oramis sort of
three, that.
slink away into some of the bookshelves looking very sort of
Oramis is obviously off
mischievous.
to be helpful.
Yes.
You know, that
Yeah.
helpful party member Oramis.
Absolutely.
That's
I'd say you've spent maybe 20 minutes doing all this. You can add Hawksmoor Lady Diadem,
In there already.
which I will tell you now is worth about 2,000 gold pieces.
Yeah. Who are you selling it to?
Whoever's got the money to
You're
pay
not,
for
you're
it.
not selling it here. No, is it not? Do what you want, but I don't think you can sell it to
No,
me.
To be
Probably
fair
not.
though, I think wherever you sold it,
Yeah.
you probably they probably wouldn't know what it was. If it's down here,
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm.
Would probably
out
be.
of
But I think
out of character.
But
it's
if
probably-
they were selling it in Hawks more, there's more of a chance someone.
Yes, that is true.
But
Anyway, can I look for another way out, effectively? Or
Another
what,
way out.
or what feels like a route on rather than going back?
Yeah, so like I said, there was these columns with doors on it, but otherwise there is this one door in, and other doors, the smaller sort of libraries,
Right,
smaller
okay.
areas of the library, but that's about it.
you say 2,000 gold pieces.
About 2,000 gold
That's
pieces.
your trading empire, sorted.
Yeah, so you've still got these sort of arms and arm in the front, in the middle of the room, and these sort of columns with plaques and doors upon them.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to do such terrible things that they'll overlook Doc's crime.
Yes. What is anything else you would like to?
There's nothing on the other.
Roll me another investigation check. There wasn't among the books.
Okay.
Well, can I start investigating, or can I investigate these the doors in these columns to see
Yeah.
where they lead to?
Yeah.
Right, so I've looked beyond books. I'll put that towards JJ's roll if he can roll better. Supporting JJ to look. Does it get advantage?
Ooh, I will say that. Yeah. Roll with advantage.
That's a 13 with advantage.
Wow.
Luckily, it's just looking at columns with doors on and reading the plaques. It's not a very difficult DC. Although I'll say it does
Make an
take you a little
Really
bit
forgets how
longer.
to read.
So you've spent 20 minutes looking at stuff.
Definitely with a 2.
I'll say you've spent another 10 minutes
Okay, so we've got
looking for.
half an hour left.
So you've got about half an hour left, but you do find upon one column a plaque which does read sort of a very rough dwarvish translation to the under caverns or under dark or something similar. This plaque above this very, very simple, quite small, actually maybe like 5 feet tall wooden door upon this column. If you'd like to open it up and enter, you obviously can do.
Before we do that, can I? No, this is a serious thing. Can I specifically look for anything on Dolus?
Specifically look for anything on Dolus? Yeah, sure. Roll me investigation. Yeah, so there is a couple of things about Dolus, the trickster god down there, accounts from previous warlocks and priests, clerics of trickery, things like that, which definitely give you, from just a brief look at them, definitely do give you a vibe of he is a very complex character. Almost think a little sort of like Loki from sort of Marvel. He does bad things and he does good things. Nothing he ever does seems to match up. So from this account, a very similar event occurred before where he asked someone to give someone a small box and it killed someone, which they had no idea who this person was, what they'd done, what they could have potentially done, but whether that had implications down the line, whether that had anything, you have no idea. And from even speaking to him, you know that he is a little bit batshit crazy. So his methods and his sort of ideals and plans for his subjects and for the world and everything are definitely his own, but a lot of it is to do with trickery, mischievousness. Some of it's good, a lot of it is good. He is a god after all, not a devil or a fiend. But much like his predecessor, the gods aren't his biggest fan because of some of the tricks he plays on them, his clerics, and especially his distaste for a lot of them.
Okay, cool.
I like to think you're reading that just going, respect. I like this guy. Do you want us to investigate it? Or?
I mean,
The
this
sort
door
of
that I found that says under cabins.
yeah. So you found a door on this column. It's about halfway into the room. It does say under caverns or under dark. door into this column about 5 feet by.
What do some of the other ones say?
So some of the other ones, there is one which, as you're sort of walking past, there's one which is like Feywild. There's one which is like ethereal. There's
Planes.
So the doors
Planes.
have the names of different planes on them.
But then there's also one which says Mars, one which says Kothar.
Okay.
These are some of them have planes. You're right. Some of them have gods. Some of them have.
Okay.
What's
people.
behind the door?
So there's not really a pattern of consistency then.
Not really. However, there is sort of. So you've realised you've gone into the section of them to do with the planes.
Right. Okay.
The ones you were at had something to do with the
Okay.
previous lords and ladies of Hawksmoor, like especially much older ones, even sort of to do with the founding Hawksmoor itself.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Are they like doors to portals? Are they doors with information behind them? Or
Well,
can we see through it?
You'd have to open
I'm
up.
going to knock on the door.
You're gonna knock on the door?
Yeah.
There is no answer.
Do you want to gently open one?
Yeah, I'm going to try the handle.
What? Can we open one that maybe, I don't know, is the Feywild safer than the Underdark? Probably.
I don't think I'd know that in game. I probably can't tell you out of it either.
Alright, we'll try the Underdark door then, because that's
what we're here for.
Yeah.
Found the Underdark door, yeah. So you
Doc,
open up.
You can open it.
Yeah.
So you open up this door with a very, very loud creak. And as you open it, there's a very, very loud howl of bitterly cold wind that blows straight through the door and almost makes it quite hard to open, gives it quite a bit of resistance. And as you open further, you end up in a modest-sized room, or rather more like a small cave, set into the sides of a mountain. The wind howls at you as you enter, blowing sheets of paper past your
I never
feet.
said I walked through.
Oh,
I just
No.
said I'm just opening it and having a look.
yeah. The door you have entered through seems to be on the sort of far back wall of a small cave opening high up into the mountains, and facing you is a rather beautiful moonlit landscape of the Hawksmoor Mountains. Within the small cave, cavern, are several sections of information, all seeming to be untouched for many, many, many years. To your immediate left are more arms of armour, but not many of them. But they do, as you're sort of looking at them in the sort of glow of the moonlight, and a small torch that lights up to your left as you enter, seem to have this oil slick look to them when you look at them very, very closely. To your right, there are sort of stacks of books, scrolls, journals, and glass cabinets with bits of information and artifacts, all on the Underdark. As you briefly look around, a dim light, just as you've even opened the door.
People with ADHD.
Can I put some music
I was
on?
trying to get some Underdark music.
A very, very dim light seems to sort of appear in the centre of the room. A very, very dim light, just from seemingly nowhere. It's white light. As you're waiting there, it sort of glows and glows a little brighter and a little brighter. And as you're going, it gains a little bit more clarity. And as you're watching it, unless there's anything anyone would like to do.
Are we with him?
Pardon?
Are we with him?
Are you?
He's off taking Dolus's info. Don't know what you're doing.
To be fair, I was helping to investigate. So if we found, what
I
we
think
were
we'd have
looking
gone
for,
with
we
him,
would
yeah,
have
because
gone with him.
we were
Yeah.
goal focused.
Anyone want to give us a shout?
And
We just assume you're behind us, and we just headed off.
and as you're looking at this sort of dim light that glows and gains clarity, it seems to glow into the form of a small humanoid figure, seemingly a dwarf. He's quite broad, but wearing scholar's clothes, with one sort of large armoured piece on his shoulder.
This is good music.
This is quite good music. He sort of has both sort of hands sort of closed like this, and seems almost ethereal in the way he looks. You can see somewhat through him. It's somewhat lightly obscured, and he does glow, making some of the room quite bright sort of around him. And he very sort of quickly opens his mouth and says, "Hi."
Sigurd, scholar of Hawksmoor and survivor of the Underdark. Within this cave are all accounts of what my past.
Sorry, what was his name?
Sigurd.
Oh, I thought you said
Sigurd.
Sigurd. I was going to ask him if he had good eyesight.
Sigurd.
Sigurd.
Within this cave are all accounts of what lay past the wretched portal, down in the caverns of Delzuin. All accounts of those that survived, that is. Read and heed this warning. Those caverns are home to dark and mystical societies, run by a tyrannical queen. Do not go there lightly. I will be here, should you need any assistance.
And he sort of floats very ominously to the mouth of the cave and sort of just hovers there, allowing you to enter and look around, should you wish to.
Was this the Underdark?
This is not the Underdark. This is
The
somewhere very, very high up in the mountains of Hawksmoor.
Yeah, with stuff like documents.
With documents and all sorts
Okay.
on sort of the sides, and then looking.
So it's
out
like an
towards
extension
you.
of the library.
Sort of, but it's a little bit weird because you've been going down this entire time from
Yeah.
the library, which is set into a mountain, and now suddenly you've opened this door, and you're way high up.
Okay.
Even in the distance, you can actually see Hawksmoor.
Can I ask Sigurd where this is then?
These sections of the library were hidden. Several tombs and parts of the mountains. They were connected to the sacred library and information of the dwarves here through a series of magic portals that you've just seen and passed through. This library, however, is protected by this veil.
And as he sort of places his hand out to the entrance of the cave, you can see this almost rippling effect.
To any viewer, this would look like the side of a mountain. Nothing special about it at all.
But as you can see, and he sort of passes through it very, very briefly,
It is not very well lit, but the path down is particularly treacherous. No one finds these areas.
Where's the Underdark? How do we get to the end of the dark?
The caverns of Delzuin can be found through the portal in the wretched tombs of Skylar. This
lies over there, and he points towards the sort of illusion over the sort of front of the cavern, and there, lighting up on a distant mountain, is just this sort of like bright light.
That is where you will find the entrance.
Doc, do you know what that is?
The Tomb of Skylar.
You can make a history check if you like. Sky, like apostrophe, LAR.
Skylar.
A history check. 19.
Nice, yeah. So you remember from being a student, you might have read past some of these things, especially the healer of one of them. They were a series of warriors. They were a band of warriors that lived a long, long time ago, that were famed all throughout Hawksmoor for ridding the place of giants. This entire mountainscape used to be riddled with giants, thinking that it was their territory. When the dwarves were there first, they sort of just showed up and said, yeah, we own this place now. You're small, we're big. That's how it works. But these people, these warriors came along and got rid of them. Got rid of the problem, drove a lot of them up north. Basically, and it's a tomb dedicated in their honor from whence they died.
I really don't like the sound of this. So, anyway, but we've got a location. Who's the ruler in the Underdark? The Queen, did you say?
The ruler of the Underdark is a ferocious goddess named Loth. She runs a tyrannical and chaotic society, competing houses fighting against one another for her favor. a matriarchal society. The leaders of the houses are typically female. She only allows female priestesses. Nobody knows why. But if you take this here book,
As he stretches out his hand, a book sort of floats out from a collection of them and sort of hovers just sort of in front of his hand.
you may find out more information on this goddess.
He floats it towards you very, very ominously.
I think she sounds like someone to avoid, to be honest.
Is there anything else you would like to know?
Anything useful? What are we going to shut it? Because it's opened again, hasn't it?
We're looking for this orb, aren't
Yeah.
we? So,
You're looking for this orb, which you've deduced could be a priest of Tiamat.
Yeah. So are we thinking the priest has gone and infiltrated the Underdark or something like that?
No idea.
well,
I don't think we'd be powerful enough to take on the Queen of the Underdark.
No, I think we're
I could try and charm her.
not in
Oh well.
So we're looking for the orb, which we think is in the Underdark.
Didn't we ever, I mean, I'll see if I can find the notes in the vision, but I think it went down into the Underdark. Didn't
Your
it?
vision did indeed go down into the Underdark.
But
You
did the
saw-
orb go in? Was I following the orb? Was I the orb?
You asked, where will these orbs take us?
Oh, okay.
Or what happens if we follow these orbs?
Okay.
And
So
one of these visions did take you down into the Underdark, seeing lots of spiders.
if we think it's in the
Armies of
Underdark,
dark
it could
elves.
be that it is opened up other ways for the drow to get back to the surface, and that's part of its chaotic plan that the orbs were talking about.
Yeah.
And so if we head down there and destroy the orb or what have you, then they won't be able to get back to the surface.
So at this point, the spirit seems to sort of open his mouth again.
These portals were created by the Drow Queen herself. To rid these portals, one must defeat her.
Just gonna kill this bitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So the vision I had, I said I went in. If we followed the orb, and I saw an army in the caves of Hawksmoor marching to the surface, and I saw Hawksmoor destroyed. So I think you might be right along those lines that that's his chance to create chaos as the Dragon Priest. So I think we need to shut the portal, and we'll probably find the Dragon Priest there in some format. I think. Because he wouldn't be powerful enough to take over, but he'd be powerful enough to open the portal. Perhaps.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The priest of Tiamat is helping to create these portals or something, and sort of.
Because it's not been open for ages, is it?
Yeah.
This is a new problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as we're aware, it's a new.
Yeah,
problem.
so obviously, as far as you're aware from some of these books and the information that you've found, this was a problem hundreds of years ago. The Drow sort of created a portal, invaded, attacked, but the dwarves were able to close it off somehow. The spirit will sort of tell you that they put up a good enough fight that the Drow didn't follow them for at least a little while, so that they could seal off the temple. The temple was hidden for centuries. But somehow, now, that seal has been broken, and the Drow have been commanded to come back up and attack.
I think
No.
we've got to go back to Hawksmoor, arm up, and head over there. Take our heaviest shit.
Let's
and
go.
deal with it. Is Artemisa? Do you think Artemisa will come? I think we need more people, like another Markul or something, to step out with it.
We do have a Markul who's just chilling up on
But
his
Yeah.
he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone
Or
up
is he
to
thinking about
the.
going?
He's thinking about going. So at the minute, he's up on the top of his thing,
Yeah.
commanding his brothers to try and find out where more of these hives of the Drow are. So he will still be there for the time being, and only when this problem is sorted, and he knows that these lands are safe, he will head up.
I think we
To the
need
north.
Markul because he's a healer, and if you've got a lot of offensive capabilities, but if you're healing, you're not using them. So I think we might need someone like Markle to come and help. Because there'll be two factions there. There'll be the Dragon Priest and there'll be the Underdark, Elves, Drow, whatever. And that's too many people for us to take on, just the four of us, I think. Or we'll struggle anyway.
I mean, depending on how long we want to wait, we could ask Daviak, and maybe he could bring like.
Where is Daviak? Is he up north?
Daviak, as far as you're aware, is still up north getting things ready for this grand wall that he's preparing sort of to bridge over.
Yeah.
But even as we speak, you guys got no idea what the fuck they're doing. The Orcs gone up north.
Yeah, fair.
Whatever's happening with that, you don't know.
Yeah, not in the north.
Is there anyone else that you didn't piss off in Orcs more? JJ.
No. Basically,
Everyone.
well,
It was quite frowned upon what you did.
yes.
Yes. Fair enough.
So, being banished doesn't tend to lead to having a lot of friends, and
Okay.
even if there were people that were still willing to talk to me, then it is unlikely they would be willing to risk helping.
Why don't you just raise some dead? That's the whole reason you got banished, wasn't it?
I can do if you want.
Okay. Yeah, sure, why not?
They don't last
Probably
very
not
long.
best idea to do that.
We got
Rubbing it
7
in,
NPCs
Yeah.
waiting on a boat. We could just go and get them.
Yeah.
Do you want us to...
We
I
could-
mean, we're going to go for the hand.
Other
Oh
characters.
yeah, 710 AC
You
one.
do have your
It's
different
just how
characters.
long they're going to take to get.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked. Like,
Yeah.
is this something we need to sort out right now, or is it something we could wait and get it?
Also, we did say
Amount of people.
about a week we were going to meet the boys on.
The
On the
shore.
ship.
Yeah. So they should be there. Oh, where did we drop them off?
So
Okay.
you left the capital,
We were in
You
the
then
capital.
spend
We sent
a
them to
day
go
going-
round to the Shattered
which would
Shore
take about.
while we went across to Hawksmoor, see what was going on there before we said, so we gave ourselves some time to potentially deal with what's going on in Hawksmoor
Yeah.
and then go meet them.
Because we're not close to the Shattered Coast, are we? Is it the Shattered Coast? Am I calling it right?
Yeah.
It is the
Yeah.
Shattered Coast. Yeah, I'll put you on the map now if you want to.
Yeah,
Look
okay.
at that.
Yeah, we're not very close to the Shattered Coast at all, actually. That's quite far north. I mean, there's a whole other town in between, so I don't know if there'll be a resource to call upon. Hawksmoor's always further south than I think it is. I always think it's like in the middle, but it's further south than Inksworth.
in the middle of that.
Yeah.
The mountain range.
Yeah.
What was the name of the vampire? By the way? So I've been thinking about this all week. The vampire.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Lazarus.
He's still bashing about
Lazarus.
somewhere.
He is still bashing about somewhere.
Black.
I thought he
Blackwind,
wasn't
yeah.
a Blackwind.
He is the Lord of Blackwind.
Yeah. but
He wasn't in Blackwind to chase you guys up north, but couldn't find you.
What's his surname though? Lazarus.
Just Lazarus.
No, because he's got a sister. She had this.
Oh,
Lady
He-
Sternberg.
but
But she
she's,
was Stoneglow because she married the guy from
Mayor Stoneglow,
Lonehill,
yeah.
who was Mayor Stoneglow, presumably.
no, what?
yeah.
I
We
swear.
we did learn her maiden name at some point.
I cannot remember it for the
I'll
life of
find
me,
it,
but
don't worry.
I will look that up.
We did learn.
But yeah, it was a. Oh, was a.
Because she'd been kicked out by Mayor
Baron
Stone-
Hill.
Baron
Baron
Hill,
Hill.
that's the one, yes. The Baron Hills had taken over Blackwind by
Lazarus.
peaceful way.
Baron Hill.
Why, you thinking about recruiting him?
No, I was just thinking all week. It just occurred to me like, oh, that's another guy that we've pissed off, and he's just running around somewhere.
He might give it up.
Oh, we could take.
Nah,
him.
he's a vampire. We could take him now.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go and do that.
I mean, last time we fought vampires, it didn't go very well.
Yeah, but we got fire and stuff now.
That's true.
I mean, I've still got mistakes and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Silver sword.
So
Oh, I understand. So.
why don't you think Artemisa will come?
Because she's not a warrior. She's a.
She wouldn't have to be a warrior, just like some sort of extra support, I think. Because we're strong, but when we go down, we get in trouble. Like we'd have been in a lot of trouble on Thursday if we hadn't had something pinned, and they were both quite low on health. Well, one of them was anyway. So
If we fancy a prison break, there's what's his face, the
Hakoda.
Cody. That's it.
no, I think we won't stoop that.
We could leave him in the Underdark afterwards. We'd probably be better
We're
off
doing you
down
a
there.
favour.
Good do.
Let's leave him in the matriarchal society.
At least it's a
Is
change
there,
scene.
for the time being, is there anything else you would like to look at in this room? There is still
Oh, yeah,
more
we should
journals
go.
and things like that.
Yeah, I think
There
we've got
are
that.
arms and armour.
We'll-
You have just been given a book on the Queen.
We'll take the book,
Lolth.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add that to my inventory.
Yeah.
What's the armour like? Is it just standard armour? Or...
It is standard armour, but there is a sort of little bit of information beside it if you wanted to have a quick look at that, which basically
Sure.
tells you a bit more about.
If
the
it's
thing.
not magical, do you just want to take it to sell for the party fund?
I mean, Doc is not a massive fan of robbing the library, I will
It's
say.
not Robin.
If we've got 10 minutes, I can ritual cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Um,
I'll read this thing. What does this thing say?
Yeah, so you read this thing, and it basically tells you that this is a substance, and I didn't make this up, it was made up by a thing.
It's a real thing.
So don't get me for copyright, anyone. But it's called adamantine.
Ooh.
Totally not adamantium, adamantine.
That's got to be some good shit.
It is, as far as people are aware, an extremely strong metal, on par with the dragon glass that Mazzy's double sword is made of. However, this has a couple of extra properties. So, first property is that it seems to be very effective against objects and things like that. So were you to use a weapon like this and attack an object or a structure or something like that, it deals critical damage. If it says something about it makes very impactful hits more impactful, which in D&D terms basically means on a critical hit, it deals 1 extra damage dice.
Oh, shit.
And finally, it has very, very similar properties to that of silver, in that it seems to bypass a lot of resistance. It's sort of so sharp and has that sort of same chemical bond similar as silver, so it seems to bypass a lot of resistances
Well,
to
this is
magic.
armour, or is there also
There is armour,
There's also weapons.
but there is also weapons, like a
What
small.
weapon is there?
There is a small dagger and a small light axe, hand axe.
Can I take the dagger? Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Doc, do you want to take the
You
arms?
do currently have a long sword in your possession in the bag of holding. That's made of this.
Have a what?
When?
Stuff.
A long sword.
When you
I
killed
picked it up from
the
the,
spider lady.
Spider Queen. Oh, so it's like an
Spider
Underdark
lady.
thing.
So yeah,
Is it
this
the-
metal is not found anywhere else. Apparently, other than the Underdark, it takes extreme heat that's only found apparently in the forge of the Duergar down in the Underdark. And only the Duergar are.
Close by.
I'm sorry, I was trying to wait for
It seems only the Duergar are able to, or were able to, sort of temper with it, things like that. If it's used in armor, however, on medium armor plus, it has a very interesting effect. It seems to be able to take a lot of damage and sort of take very, very impactful damage and somewhat reduce it down. So basically, a critical hit becomes a normal hit. So you don't. So if something was to critical hit you, you wouldn't roll the extra damage dice.
I thought I've done something very out of character there. I've just taken the dagger. Is it more useful against people like?
It
from
is.
the
It is.
Underdark?
It is more useful against things with magical resistances
Okay.
and can be.
They're good. This is useful down in the Underdark.
What were the other weapons again?
There is a dagger, a light axe, and just like a couple of sort of scraps of armor. You can't really add them on to gain any AC benefits. They're just like sort of small.
Oh, because there aren't like
braces.
suits of armor, there's scraps.
No, yeah, just sort of like scraps of random little bits that they were able to get. It seems like from reading it, the only people that wear sort of the medium armor plus are the leaders in Drow society. So these are the matriarchs, these are the high priestesses and things like that. Not your average Joe. Your average Joe will wear leather armor. Some of them you've seen wear studded leather, studded with adamantine, which is what Oramis has got on. Not right now, but.
See, that's what these little dogs.
And yeah,
Very poor
So-
cosplay.
so that's adamantine.
Season 1 Oramis.
Alright. Does Sigurd say it's useful?
Sigurd
'Cause that's
says
my
that it
justification for
is.
taking it.
Sigurd says yes, it is quite useful. There's a lot of dark beings under there which do seem to benefit from things like magic resistance to weapons and things
I'm
like
going
that.
to take it
So
because it's useful.
Yeah,
not
definitely,
because
definitely
I
take
just
it.
want it. Do I
Is it
get-
then, as you said, it's similar to the dragon glass and
it
the
is.
silver?
Yeah, so it has.
So there's no real benefit for me taking it because I've already got Dragon Glass.
Dragon Glass doesn't obviously bypass things like silver does or adamantine does. Neither do you gain the benefits from the critical hits thing or the attacking objects.
Is it a hand axe or a light axe?
Hand axe.
Hand axe. So you could yeet that. If you wanted
could
to.
yeet that.
I mean, if you want, Mazzy, I've got this Drider's longsword that you can
Please take that.
swap out.
Two-hand and I don't know if you can do that.
Would it mean I'd have to drop something? Because I am technically got my bow, my dual
yeah,
sword.
I would say
It's
you would have to
currently-
put the dual sword in the bag to take the long sword.
Okay, well if you've got it in the bag, then
Yeah.
if we know we're going in, I can swap that out.
Yeah, we'll swap.
That's
we can
fine.
swap
Yeah.
that out before we go
Don't get
in.
anything for the adamantine dagger. Just set it up.
Adamantine dagger. Yeah, I'll remind me of it in a little bit on the break.
We can take a break in a bit. We've done that actually. Have we done? Oh wait, what time we start?
We've done 50.
We've done 54 minutes.
Okay.
Should we get out of this place? And
Oh yeah.
take a break?
Is that an alarm I hear?
So you've been down there about.
What about me casting Detect Magic?
You cast in Detect Magic. So you cast Detect Magic, and what would be magical down there?
Everything.
Well, you see a lot of magic coming from Sigurd, this spirit, this sort of magical spirit that's been tied to this room. You'd also see some elements of magic coming from certain scrolls and no, not from scrolls, from certain artifacts that lay within the room, not necessarily giving any properties, but there are sort of things like eyes of certain magical beings and things like that. Very, very creepy, a lot of these artifacts as well. There's like jars of a brain and this creepy, weird tentacle thing. Multiple tentacle things, actually, it's kind of weird. As well as...
Everyone's got their kink.
random sort of monsters' eyes, a lot of sort of bits of spiders, things like that. You do detect some magic from some of the spiders. They seem to be sort of tempered with, genetically sort of magically tempered with, it would seem. But yeah, that's not a whole lot other than that.
So the weapons themselves aren't magic?
Weapons themselves are not magic, no. They're good old-fashioned Durgar smithing.
I just looked up the price. Oh, I didn't mean to look at the price of an adamantine dagger. I just meant to look up some stats for it. Oh shit, it's expensive. That makes your diadem look cheap.
Gonna sell that and have a fun party.
I'll use it first.
Just to let you know, Ben, because I've leveled up, I've added Misty Step to my character sheet.
No, how dare you?
It's quite an Oramis spell. Because I don't have enough movement already.
You can only teleport 30 feet as a bonus action, and you can bonus action sprint 30 feet.
It's not mostly
But
useful.
then-
The other thing is you could like hop out of like an attack.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like the way I used
Yeah,
it. In,
like-
or you can
instead
go
of-
through. You can go across things and whatever.
I'll
he
hold
could-
off Misty Step, but
It's
You can go
useful.
across.
Well,
Yeah,
if
true,
you
can
think
go
so,
across
say
that.
you've got an
Oh,
enemy
yeah,
in front of
that's
you
what I
and
was
an enemy
thinking.
behind you, you're in advantage. You don't want to run away because then that's two attacks of opportunity. But you want to get really far away so they can't follow you. What do? Misty Step the distance of a dash,
and then dash.
and then use your action to dash. Boom.
Or you can
You're
get
pretty
Misty
far
Step and then move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if they had to dash up to you,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to attack you.
Yeah.
It's useful.
Unless
It
they're
has
like
its
the
uses.
fucking elementals with their 90-foot movement speed.
Yes, they were
That was horrid.
actually really fun.
At least we've got around all of us. I'll have to hit on you, hit on you, hit on you.
Yeah, it's good in
And I
that
go back to my
quadruple
starting.
attack. I'll everything. Near.
Yeah. Anyway, your time in this place, you're looking around at all this stuff. Definitely or somewhat running out.
One last question for Sigurd before we go.
Yes.
Sort of set as we're leaving. Like, any tips if you're a survivor from the Underdark? Any tips for dealing with the creatures down there?
Probably just sort of look at you
Don't go down
briefly.
in the first place.
Yeah.
Look at you briefly and just go.
The drow, it seems, are fans of ambush tactics. Keep your eyes on the darkest spots down there. The Duragar our skills, but not bright. Much like we dwarves, they
Fuck off.
crave battle. There are so many other creatures down there that one cannot even begin to list them all, but there is one creature, one I heard of in my time of slavery. Be careful of the illithid.
Oh fuck.
The what?
The illithid.
Oh, I know what they are.
Yeah.
Not in character, but they're horrible.
Like mind flayers.
Yeah.
They're called
That-
many
oh.
names.
I mean, I know you've had a flick through Volos, but there's some proper like creepy illithid stuff in there.
Are we sure we want to do this? Is this our destiny? You've got your retirement fund in the diary. Let's just go. Let's just go. Okay, thank you, Sigurd.
They look a bit like oods on steroids.
I'm
What
glad
illithid?
I could be of service.
Sort of takes a bow.
Should you need any more assistance, I am bound to this plane for eternity.
Takes a brief bow. And then this sort of
Okay.
dimming glow
Boring life.
Yeah,
disappears.
he never gets any visitors.
And with a very, very big sort of whoosh of air, he seems to sort of just absorb with the air, just sort of well.
So we're going down the mountain.
Oh, we're going out that way instead.
I don't know.
I mean, you could try and climb down the
How
mountain.
far is the mountain from Hawksmoor?
Fair few miles.
I think that's a fucking terrible idea.
It is pitch black outside, snowy.
Ooh, if it's snowing, we like
Swim.
get to the
And,
I've got a shield and a dream.
pitch black outside, snowy. You're very high up on the mountain, and Hawksmoor is a couple of miles away. However, you also going the other way will have to deal with the circumstances of whatever that might lead to. So it is entirely up to you.
The darkness is an issue because whoever's like steering.
I would
how best
say
you could.
Mazzy's
That-
favoured terrain is mountains.
That's the only problem is I can't
so
see in the dark.
so at the very least, he might be fine if he has a torch. The rest of you,
yeah, I'd like.
you're gonna have to roll some shit.
Now we
I'd so badly want
we
to
go
get out
back.
of that snowboard out with.
Yeah, let's go through the line.
I'm pocketing that as a backup plan.
What?
To fucking if we get caught, I'm gonna run and just eat myself off a mountain.
Tell you what, we'll go on your board. I'll be at the front, so I'm trying to steer. I don't know how.
On my shield.
I'll be like leaning on the board. I'll go this way, go that way.
I'll just put my hand on the race and you'll be like,
Yeah.
left, okay.
I mean,
No, I need you to tell me. I'll be the one that's steering, but I need you to tell me what because I can't see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there were shields and
No,
stuff
you
in,
hold-
the,
you hold the light,
in the main bit of the library.
Right.
There were more sort of dwarven shields and things like that.
Are they any larger? That's the issue. Larger
They
than one.
are,
You're going too
they are
far
shields
shield.
fit for a
Well-
dwarf, which means they're probably about the size of a dwarf. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think you can both get on like a. How big is it? That's what, like 3 foot?
I mean-
maybe. Is that too big?
Yeah.
about
Probably like
about
a
3
probably
foot
like
shield.
a 4 by 2 foot rectangle.
Yeah.
Won't be able
Do you
to.
imagine like a big kite shield?
Yeah.
Won't be able to
You can
both
get
sit down with our legs
Like
like
that.
off it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steer with our feet as well. Like.
Yeah.
You're
Two-
driving.
two
Oh,
people
I'm,
can
You
sit.
I'm
work
so
your way
up
out
for this.
most
I'm so up for this to try
Well,
it.
you guys. Well, my point is, you guys might get a little slap on the wrist or something if there's guards and you're
Yeah.
like caught. You know,
I'm happy to give.
if you're caught like 10 minutes after curfew,
A slap on the wrist with an axe.
you will because you're fucking stealing.
I don't know.
This is my grandmother's diadem. I'll have you know, sir. I stole it.
You don't have to prove it to
I
us.
don't know about that, so it's fine. But yeah, if it comes to it, then that'll be Doc's way out because he knows what'll happen if he gets caught.
Is this a discussion we're having between our characters? Or,
No, this is
okay.
Okay. Well.
And then, as my character, I'd like to suggest it
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
because it is my favourite terrain, so that would make sense.
As long as we can get back for bedtime.
I would give you a bonus sliding down
Yeah,
on a
that's-
shield.
No, this is not happening.
However,
What is the gradient? Is it literally drop?
It's designed to be inaccessible.
in certain places it is a sheer
you
drop.
can't climb
In
like
other
that. Should we just miss
places
this
it
then
is
now?
a somewhat climbable area.
How many spell slots do you have?
2.
How many?
Yeah, but he can wait an hour and then use it again.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I've got my sky boots as well. How far do I?
You're 15 feet.
No. But then, it's another question for you, really. How far is it before I have to then make saves? Like, how far off do I have to fall before I have to like make a save to see how well I'm going to survive or something? Because then I can say I'll fall that far and then I'll get my boots out to go 15 feet down, then I fall again. And
So
again.
for every 10 feet of movement, every 10 feet you go down, you take 1d6 bludgeoning damage. In certain situations, especially for
Landing
quite
on your
low,
feet, right.
especially quite low things, up to like 10d6, I'll allow you to make a dex save. However, past like 10d6, nah, you take that full damage, right? No
I
way.
mean, that's 100-foot 10d6.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, like
I'm sort of saying I go down and then I use my boots to go. Well, I've controlled that. I'm now at another stage.
yeah,
I mean,
before
is
we
that
get
the
a
sound
bit
of
further.
guards walking down the stairs?
Anyway.
This is just. It's not like.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's a thought I had like the other day.
Yeah, I mean, always worth a shot.
Yeah,
can
exactly.
give it a try.
Alright,
in
well,
time
Well,
of
let's see
like-
what we face when we go back up.
Yeah,
'Cause there might be something.
Very
in
sad
the
that
way.
we're not trying this,
Yeah.
but you know.
I don't know, it's not off the table yet.
So, you
Should we take a
quick look into
quick-
while
Should we take a pause?
Pause. What, in the session?
I genuinely thought you said
Session.
Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a Porsche and let's bounce.
We'll take the Porsche off the cliff. That'll be fine. Roll around it. That's fine.
The Porsche will take the damage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, leave your if you've got your seatbelt on, you're absolutely.
Well, we've got all those dwarven shields.
Airbags.
We put those to the wheels, and then we'll just slide down that.
yeah, are we taking a break?
break.
Taking a break here before you head back out.
Little
Sure.
comfort break.
No comfort break, yeah.
Yeah, then we can have a bit.
Yeah, then we can get back to it.
Run out, shout about.
Take 5-10 minutes, and then We are back. You guys were making your way out. Is there anything you wanted to look for in the library? Anything
Teleportation
else you wanted
circle
to do?
scroll.
Teleportation circle scroll. I will say that there is a 60% chance it's there.
Okay. So roll a
40% chance it's not. 0 to 60. You can make an investigation roll to find it. Potentially with advantage if people live.
I mean, I don't want to mess, but I would have thought higher is success. So I'd have said, I mean, I'm being picky, but I'd have said 40 to 60 it's there.
40 to 100 it's there.
It's 40 to 100, sorry,
Yeah.
it's there.
And then 0 to 40 is...
And then 0 to 40 is
It doesn't
failed.
really matter which way it goes.
doesn't,
It's a
no.
60% chance.
Roll
either
the damn
way.
dice.
It doesn't, you're
Zero,
right.
okay, 0 to 40, it's not there. 40 to 100,
Watch
it is
out
there.
roll low now and everyone's going to hate me.
Yeah, we
Roll.
We...
Ah!
I hate
This is what happens when you mess with the DM.
This is what
JJ.
happens. JJ.
you. We're now in a bad mood.
Let's fucking go out. I hope you get arrested. What's your crime? Numbers.
So you briefly,
That's the real reason I was banished. I've been lying this entire time. They just don't like me.
you briefly have a quick look around. Anything else anyone wants? Any other?
No, you probably won't
bits
come
and
up,
bobs?
you know. No matter what percentage you have.
Fair enough. And you leave. You head back through the thing. Congratulations, Doc. You saved everyone a combat encounter by destroying the glyph.
Yeah.
Therefore, no one has to fight any more of the elementals on the way out.
Thank God we were. Oh my God, we got like 5 minutes to get out of here. Nice. Run. Oh shit, we're not the fight.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
They're quick,
in,
though.
in World, combat
Yeah.
doesn't take long because
Oh,
everyone
that's
gets
true,
one
that's true.
turn in
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
So although it takes us 2 hours,
So you
in
pass
real time, it's
through the
9
library.
minutes.
You pass through the other library, the corridor that you went to, and you make it back to this plain sort of stone door in this very, very narrow, quite cramped corridor with a small little lever to let you through. This will lead then into the main library where you can exit. Are you going to pull it up?
Can we just first of all check the exact time? How close do we to 10 o'clock?
Well, none of you really have a clock. You were able to briefly see the moon and can make a guess.
So
someone
we're
can
at
make
the
me an-
front door, right? So
You are
we
at
can
the door.
go out and check, right?
No, we're in.
You're at the door from the restricted section.
Oh,
into the
sorry,
main
we're not
section
out of the library. Sorry.
Right, do we want to use my last 5th level spell slot to cast invisibility and I can do all of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think
I mean,
we're just getting out of here, aren't we? Going
Yeah.
back to an inn at this point. So
Okay, I'm gonna cast invisibility on everyone then.
Cast
I'll double- just
invisibility
double
on
check
everyone.
then. So 3rd level it's 2, 4th level it's 3, 5th level it's 4. Okay.
Oh, and then are you casting Pass Without Trace as well?
All the stealth. That's good because we can still we'll probably still have to make
Yeah,
stealth
you
checks.
will still have to make a stealth check because obviously just because you're invisible doesn't mean you're quiet.
Then if we're not quiet, I might as well say pass without trace as well.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll tell you,
don't
and then
see an
we'll-
issue with it at all because
Yeah.
we're just going to go back and recharge probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do it.
All right. So with that, everyone pull the lever.
Oh, I didn't
Obviously,
mean to
Gylndan casts
All
invisibility on
together.
all of you.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
are all suddenly invisible.
Go power.
Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Crunk. And suddenly, as you pull the lever from the stone, it sort of melds into this quite ornate doorway. You're able to open it. There is no one immediately on the other side, and it seems like there isn't many people actually in the library. It is somewhat closing up.
A question
Mm-hmm.
with invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
As we're all covered under the same spell, can we see each other, or are we all invisible to one another?
I think it might be invisible
think
to one another.
You are all invisible
Bumped into each
to
other.
each of you.
So no one has it.
So,
It's all hold hands so we know each other.
so,
Who's grabbing my ass?
so
That was the end of my double sword, sorry.
there is no one immediately around you. You close the door behind you. However, you do begin to suddenly hear the sound of boot prints walking around, and you can just hear the subtle scrape of some metal against the floor. It's like
Ooh.
someone's blade or something.
That's fucking
Outrageous. You can then just suddenly hear these two girls like,
Big fan of
fucking
library.
Ambyr on the night shift, sort of scratching each other. Oh, fucking hell, why did they post me in the library anyway? I can't even bloody read. Ah, shut up. And just, you're so bloody depressed. I hate you. That kind of crap. Everyone roll me a stealth check with advantage, except for Doc.
Plus 10 advantage.
Doc rolls just a regular because it's...
Plus 10 advantage.
yeah, so everyone rolls with advantage, plus 10.
Oh, if you
Doc.
fail this,
Just roll a regular stealth roll. Bad 10.
That's a 30!
I've got plus 7 and a plus 10. I've got plus 17.
So 30, 36, 25 and 30.
Yeah, so you guys are using Gylndan's invisibility and Mazzy's sort of pass without trace, able to sort of muffle the sounds of all of
I'm
these
as stealthy
things
as
like that.
Oramis.
You are able to sort of
Clomp,
sneak.
clomp.
You are able to sneak out of here. Right at the front entrance, you can see a couple of the librarians sort of stood near the doorway, just sort of having their final checks. Like, are you sure you split that mess on the third floor? Blah blah blah. And you're able to very, very sneakily, with all of your rolls being plus 20, holy shit, able to sneak by and get out. You are now on the street. That was so easy. You are now on the street in this place. It's
Guys, where are you all?
like I said before, there is a somewhat sort of cafe. I say cafe very, very loosely. It still serves ale and things like that. It's not going to sort of later hours, where outside you can see Artemisa sort of sipping on this small glass of wine she's got, seemingly waiting for you all. Guards and things are walking up and down the streets. People are also walking up and down the streets, going from their businesses to their homes, or just heading back home, heading on a night out. Things like that. A couple of drunks
Can we
walking
just
by.
check the time now? Again, I keep asking, but can we check the time of that moon and shit?
Yeah, so you obviously again. So obviously this
moon and
section,
shit. Oh, it
this-
must be about 12 o'clock.
This section of Hawksmoor is underneath a mountain. However,
Damn.
by the way of not many guards about, and the fact that you can see one or two maybe like elves and things walking by towards the exit, you
Yeah.
can assume you still have time.
Okay, good. I don't know what I said last.
Would it be safe to assume there would be some sort of bell or something like that
Yeah.
to announce?
I'm sitting right next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, there would be, there would be bells, guards would walk around with bells shouting out saying, look, it's time for you all to leave. Things like that. So you would get a quite loud notification. Obviously, you guys have only just come out onto the streets. You wouldn't necessarily, you think maybe you missed it or whatever, but
We're also
unfortunately,
invisible.
Yeah,
you haven't.
well-
You are still also invisible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My question really was, do we still need to be invisible? Do
Yeah,
we still need to be like
because
creeping around?
Senorita over here is not allowed in the city at all.
So,
Well,
I mean,
I-
I don't know how long yours lasts.
I
I
don't know
might
if
have gone
I can
out.
cut it on everyone.
You can cancel.
Does that cancel on everyone, or can I cancel it on 3
I
people?
think
I think we should cancel at one person, so
It-
then we all say, we'll follow that one person who we can see.
it
Yeah.
would cancel if you cast another spell or attacked someone if it was a combat situation.
Yeah, and if
So
anyone.
you can effectively cancel it on yourself by doing something.
But so I want to cancel on everyone apart from you. Can I do that?
Well, yeah, so if Mazzy attacked someone,
Yeah.
say we're in a combat situation and you cast that on all of us so we get advantage, the moment Mazzy attacked someone in that combat, he would reveal himself and become visible.
Okay.
I'll say not necessarily attacked, either just did an action
But I think
that is.
that's the rules of the spell.
Oh yeah. But
So-
I'd say in the sort of out of combat situation, if he did something as energetic as
Yeah.
to similar to an
So
attack.
yeah, so what
Just eldritch.
So what I'm
Ends
saying-
for an attack or cast the spell. So
yeah, so what I'm
if
saying
you cast the spell,
is effectively.
Well, we're already fucked.
So what I'm saying is effectively.
I just tripped and it just came out.
You guys can cancel it on yourselves while
Yeah.
Gylndan maintains concentration, and as long as Doc doesn't do anything, it will be maintained on him.
can I cast a very short minor illusion of just an arrow pointing at Doc?
You don't know where he is.
I know it's pointing in the wrong direction. He's here, officer.
And you just see these sort of this dwarven couple, a little bit tipsy, just sort of walking about.
Oh, I need to stop doing liability.
and just sort of continue. They've had a little bit of drinks.
I'm just going to say, Pass Without Trace is still working for everybody. So the people that are visible, it's basically like we're walking down the streets and we're not in people's perception, but suddenly some people are, oh my god, there are people there, sort of thing.
You're just sort of being very, very sort of stealthy about walking around, almost like just like.
Watch where you're going. Watch where you're going.
Yeah.
But yes, you're able to walk down the street somewhat. Artemis, seeing you guys, I think does manage to.
Will we get back in an hour? Within an hour?
Within an hour from within the thing, you wouldn't be able to get out of the city.
No,
okay. Well,
we're going back to the pub.
Oh, going back to the pub? Yeah.
Pub.
You'll be able to get back to the pub.
Well, actually, we don't have to be in Hawksmoor anymore. We've got everything we came for.
Isn't the tomb within the city?
No.
No, the tomb is within a mountain that you are sort of pointed towards.
I mean,
you
we
would
might
know
as well get out of it.
Yeah, we can just cast the spell again.
But spend the night in the pub.
Oh,
and then get out. Yeah, so we're rested.
Well,
although it might be easier to just get out now actually because of then Doc's not inside the city.
We can just like go find
we don't have to worry about getting him out.
An alleyway or something. You just cast the spell again. So.
I've got a plan to get him out.
What's the said plan? Is it them bloody bracelets again?
I'm going to polymorph him into a giant eagle.
I am on board with this plan.
Fine, let's go to
I
bed.
need the spell slot, so I've got to sleep, wake up, and then he's an eagle.
I'm afraid that they don't like knock my doors and see us.
Also, I don't think we can get out, like you said, we can't get out before the invisibility wears off, whereas we can get back to the pub before invisibility wears off. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the pub?
I don't know, which pub did you
I went to a nice one.
You went to a nice one.
Fuckface went to a dodgy one.
So you went to the In and Out Inn.
In and Out Inn, yeah.
He went to the Griffin something.
Let's go to the In and Out Inn.
Yeah.
We go to the nice places.
Yeah,
the upmarket people.
We are, yeah. We're big time.
The In and Out Inn does not sound. You got the Griffin's Roost, which sounds majestic and elegant, and then you got In and Out.
The In and Out Inn, yes.
It used to be a brothel.
So you head back to the In and Out Inn. Doc sort of immediately following behind. You're able to pick up the rooms for cheaper than the night before, so it's only 2 gold this time.
2 gold? That's a bloody rip
for an extra night.
I'm gonna have to con some more people.
Are you gonna try and pay with the diadem?
Do
you break big value objects?
I could do some change.
Have you got?
Can I? Can we get that at a lower price? I mean,
I'm just gonna pay 2 and go to bed.
It's pretty late.
We're worried about our spells.
It's pretty late. You're not getting any more customers tonight. Those rooms will be empty otherwise.
Yeah, it's only 10 o'clock. We have a buzzing nightlife. In fact, we have some musical acts performing later on. If anyone would like to come and see.
Going up.
I'm going to palm Gylndan 2 gold and get him to also get me a room as I'm still invisible.
This is a room for my
ego.
Ego?
We've got a friend coming. He's not here yet.
Yeah, we've got a friend that's coming. That's
Right.
smart. Well done. Not the ego.
Right. Well,
Question though, if someone was willing to pay for an extra room for their ego, would you as the manager of a place sell them the extra room for their ego?
Yeah.
if no one else is actually taking it.
Yeah, because then you don't even have to clean it or do anything to them after. It's like you're getting basically money for
free money.
Yeah, no, I get
Can we rest up?
that. You can indeed rest up, gain spell slots, hit points.
Full HP.
Over this long rest, are you taking any time to read that book that you took? Either of you?
No.
Any of you?
I think we go out and we prep. Yeah, no, so I think we leave the city in the morning, go to your farm perhaps,
and do that.
we have
to be awake
there, make a plan about how we're going to tackle this. Because we don't need to be in Hawksmoor anymore, I don't think.
Okay. Good plan. So you all get very, very rested.
I generally thought you were going to say very drunk.
Actually, before I go to sleep, seeing as I'm not going to do anything else that day, I am going to use my divine intervention to pray to Apollo to heal my greater wounds that I have sustained from the previous times I've been.
How's Oramis' limp?
Alright. Oramis, your limp is You do have a little bit of a limp in the morning. Obviously, yesterday your kneecap was popped out and back into place.
Bit rough.
It hurts a little bit, but you figure you can walk it off. The speed is now back to what it once was.
Excellent.
And yes, you can roll a percentile dice to heal your greater wounds.
One.
Oh.
Less than 10 or lower. 10 or lower.
10 or lower.
23.
23.
Not bad.
Unfortunately,
Not enough.
not enough.
That's one divination roll.
11, that's...
11 and a 19 to get, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah,
Take it.
take it.
I
Right.
don't really know what we're going to use it for. High rolls is probably good for a day where we're not doing much else.
You said Artemisa won't be coming with you in.
I don't think she would, because we had a little bit of a miscommunication with the type of NPC that she was going to be, which is why you brought her in sort of in that combat situation.
I see, yeah.
And whereas in my head, when I come up with her, she's very, like, you know, well, not combat focused, like scholarly and, you know, musically inclined.
Yeah.
And so she's got this little bit of sort of, you know, bard magic, but
Okay. So in the morning she wakes up and she'll essentially offer, is there anything she can do here or anywhere around to help out? Is there anything you would like her to do on your behalf? She just feels a little bit bad for not sort of contacting you sooner and things like that.
no, I've already given her the stuff to give to my family and things like that, and the letters and notes for them and for her and stuff previously. So, yeah, probably just like having made contact, can reach out again. With the, you know, like get an update on sort of what her plans are. If you know, tell her that if she's looking for us, within you know, tell her what we're planning on doing. So we're going to be trying to do this because I've updated her on everything that's happened. So we're going to be trying to go into the Underdark and stuff like that. And then we're going to the Shattered Coast. So if she's looking for me, then that's potentially where I'll be for a bit off.
Yeah,
Well,
she'll
yeah.
probably say she'll travel around for a little bit. She has
Yeah.
a couple of places where she is potentially open to play to get a little bit of gold for herself, but she
Mhm.
might meet you in the Shattered Coast, as that is potentially one place where she's been before, and she has a standing reservation there at a particular tavern, which will let her play
Mhm.
for like a free night's rest, free food, free drinks,
Yeah.
anything like that. They quite like a sort of dwarven spirit and things like that there. So yeah, she might meet you again up there should you wish to say hi to her again. But otherwise, yes, you can also have a long rest. Now you're waking up in the morning and you're casting polymorph on Doc to make him into an eagle or something.
Not right away. I think we'll have some breakfast first. That's the general plan to getting past the gate.
Okay.
They don't check on the way out, but will
Yeah.
they
But if
recognise
you walked out,
But
yeah,
if
no,
I
there
walked
are
around the
dozens
city-
of guards there.
Well,
You would still potentially see.
Oh, mate, calm down.
Smack him up with joy.
Keep the door open.
seeing as we're all good friends here, I'll give you a choice of what flying creature you'd like to be.
Oh, this is.
You could be a giant owl,
Oh my god.
a giant bat, or an eagle.
I would
Send a
go
raven.
for the giant owl.
Giant owl.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Giant owl. So Doc, you turn into a giant owl.
Whoa! No,
Whoa.
carry on.
Oh.
It's just all moving very fast. You know?
Okay. I'm
You didn't let me
trying to
act
see-
out the magic.
Okay, act out magic. That's
There you go. Crack on then. Oh, look, he's
Over exaggerated
giant
actions
owl.
and the little.
so the way I'm sort of imagining this is that you get down into sort of like the alleyway besides the pub. Puff happens. Doc then sort of melds into this giant owl.
Have you seen the animated Sword in the Stone? Whenever they cast magic and on each other and like they change into, there's just this little like puff of smoke and then all of a sudden new thing is there.
Yeah.
So it's just
Poof.
Owl.
And then Doc is just this giant owl, still almost looking. Oh, wait.
Shall I say? How long is it to the gate from the?
As the crow flies, or as the what was it again?
As the giant
For
owl
you guys,
flies.
The giant owl
for you
flies.
guys walking,
Yeah.
about maybe 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay, because it lasts an hour, so I don't know if we want to try and get closer before we do it. Also, I always have to see you for it to be active. I think.
You have to be able to see me the entire time.
I don't know. A creature that you can see within range, like that's the start.
Yeah,
that's
that's,
when you
that's,
start
that's,
it,
that's
yeah.
the starter,
Then,
that's to cast it.
How does it end for you? Just like after an hour.
When he falls out
After
of
an
the
hour.
sky.
hour if
when
you
you
break
lose
concentration.
concentration.
Okay, alright, I think you're right.
But for a giant owl, yeah, you'd be able to make it out of there in like 20 minutes.
Okay. Alright, well, let's just do it then. You can go and then meet roughly where I bumped into you guys outside.
That does not sound like an owl.
So you transform Doc
I've never been an owl
into this giant owl, and you still sort of note that there is a vast amount of plumage just sort of underneath its chin, still retaining some of the beard, and there is almost like, you know, Doc has that sort of white jacket over him. There is almost still that sort of white, almost like coat just over the
I'm a
front.
giant snowy owl.
You are a bit of a
So-
giant snowy owl.
So
with this,
inconspicuous.
Do you want to just like take letters to Hogwarts while you're on your way? Like,
You're having a shit day if one of the bored guards goes, ooh, sports!
Well, so you guys that are able to sort of walk out of the city just fine. There's sort of
We're not
nothing
the issue.
really on your way. However, Doc, flap your wings, fly out of the city. You make it out of the city. Where are you going to meet everyone?
Well, we talked about meeting back going back to Mazzy's farm, so I think I'll probably just try and fly all the way back there.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh,
the farmer might not be like.
So you're
like-
flying back to
Just
Mazzy's
go-
farm. You're soaring through the sky very, very beautifully.
Is
And
it
for you,
time?
you know you can make it back there.
It's an hour.
You figure as an
Do it
owl,
just like
you can make it back there within
finish
the hour.
that.
Yeah.
An hour.
Well, yeah, if he's in the air after
he's
an
in the
hour,
air,
he's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
transport into a really heavy dwarf.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah.
However, you're flying across, and down low, you take note of the Rangers Conclave
Oh fuck!
that Mazzy
Yeah, I've said it now.
was that Mazzy went to,
Oh god.
and you note that there seem to be a fair few of them down there. Oh, they're looking up at you. That's nice. Oh fuck, that's a crossbow.
How high up are you flying?
Thing is though, probably not very, because I'm used to being on the ground, so I'm probably flying quite low.
Yeah. Also, if
Would
you
it,
change
that.
would the best way of getting around this? I don't know, but fly up instead of away. It's a general question.
Fly out of rain.
Oh, so you mean
Because they're
like,
further
I
away,
like
you can't
this, so yeah, go
Yeah.
like
Right,
this
how-
rather than...
Yeah, then the
How
the
long
way
was he
that way,
into
yeah.
the spell flying over the Rangers Conclave? 'Cause the
Uh,
higher up you
That
go-
is a very good question. Yeah.
Probably about
59 minutes.
45 minutes.
This was
Oh,
such a
yeah,
good
40
idea
minutes.
when
Yeah,
it started. and
right.
That's a problem.
Well, play dead, didn't
I think
it?
it's
Just
just
have a
a
dive
little,
straight to the ground,
stats
and then
for
just the last
giant
minute flap your
owl.
wings, and then
I
Oh, I've got it up. It's got shit.
stealth away.
Yeah, it really does a shit HP. So, say 15 plus 1 to hit you, Doc.
That'll hit, I'm sure.
A 7 plus 1, which doesn't. And a 16 plus 1, which does.
Question: if he just gets hit, does he fall out of the sky?
Hmm?
Does
No.
it have to be like
Is-
if
he's
he's
not-
down, he falls out of the sky?
What do you mean?
No, it would be if he loses all the hit points of the creature,
Yeah.
he falls out of the sky.
Right. Okay.
So, you take 6 plus 1, 7
19.
damage. So that's now 12 HP.
Oh.
And another 6. So
Get your ass on ground.
you have 6 HP as this giant owl, as these 2 arrows suddenly come flying, like hurtling up at you, just thunk, thunk, and then another one whizzes past your face. What would you like to do?
I mean, can I just... So, I'm just flying over. Presumably, I'm now sort of heading away out
You
of
are
range.
now like, yeah, you can like be heading away out of range if you would like to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep. I'll probably flying, sort of medium speed, and then just once they get hit, just start booking it.
Yeah.
So they sort of car on flight just tend to do fuck.
All I'm gonna say is don't be Rickon Stark. Zigzag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get hit twice. sort of in the air, sort of you're
Oh, it's such
a
shame I
little-
don't have
a
to
little
start
bit
to
wavy.
Transform back, give them the finger.
but you are able to sort of fly just about away.
Oh, Jesus.
You're lucky you didn't get hit by the third attack. And you're lucky that they have 19 HP.
All the shit you've been through, and you could have died by getting dealt so much damage that you depolymorphed in the sky.
Fell and died.
Oh,
But you make it back to Mazzy's farm, and after a little while, so obviously you guys make it back to the gate. Awaiting you is a very excited Chikara, who seems to have made friends with another elephant that is in the stables. Very, very strange that there's another elephant in the
And there's
stables,
an
but you can
owl
see this
apparently.
very, very eccentric.
Oh, she
dwarf.
came with to Hawksmoor, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
at the pub.
So
so she's come
yeah.
back.
So she's now waiting for you in the
Oh,
stables.
so we in
there.
the stables? Oh, so I
You're-
thought you
you're-
said we
yeah,
come
so,
back.
you know, so you're now in the
okay.
stables.
Yeah.
And you've seen obviously Chikara with this, another elephant. This elephant that she's with seems to have sort of all these sort of paintings over her. You can make a religion check.
Oh, is that that's in the stables in Hawksmoor?
That is in the stables in Hawksmoor,
Religion,
yeah.
Religion.
You don't really know what the
Million rolls
sigils
today.
mean or anything like that. They've been painted on this sort of white, sort of thick paint, but you know them to be sigils of Melora, the god of nature.
Oh. Flashbacks to Dan Coffin.
Yeah, and this is this very, very eccentric dwarf, wearing very, very bright colours and stuff. And as you approach to collect Chikara, he does sort of looking, fine beasties up there. Love me, Bessie. And he sort of hugs the trunk. And as he hugs the trunk, the elephant then lifts up the trunk, him on top of it. She goes up and put me down. Puts him down. You gonna talk to this guy or just leave? No better way to put it, really.
I kind of do, but also... Nah, maybe for another time. We'll do a one shot where we'll find out what I said to him. Yeah, they're lovely, and I'll just hop on and piss off.
Whatever. You guys are able to leave. You pass through the gates. A couple of people give you sort of eyes.
Do you want
and
to
stuff
talk
like
to him
that.
or leave?
Well, you know, did you want to interact with him? Or
No,
did
it's
you
just
want
it's
to-
just the way you said it. You're like, I'd leave. I don't like this character. Don't want to play.
You're able to pass by. A lot of people sort of look at you guys, especially sort of the group of you three, and there are whispers among the crowd of sort of like, are they guardians? Guardians of those guys in the tower? Sort of that you can see a lot of people sort of mumbling and things like that, and you can hear them sort of in and around you. What are you looking for?
Yes. What?
I was lost. I just didn't know what to do without it.
But no one sort of makes any eyes or anything. One of the dwarves does sort of shout back at you just as you're leaving. Hope you have a good time in Hawksmoor, and you're able to set off back to Mazzy's home. By now, it is probably about midday when you make it back to Mazzy's house. Doc stood there.
Absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine.
I think when they tell us, it's like, Gylndan, that was brilliant. Please do that again.
Does he carry over injuries from his polymorph?
No.
Okay.
that's sad.
Why are there two giant arrow marks in your chest?
I would say that like if the arrows were still in you, they would still be in you from the polymorphed state, but they probably just sort of like clatter to the ground, sort of thing. Sort of wonder who's using crossbow.
Just turn around, and Doc's got like just hasn't noticed two guys. They hit the owl, but they're like stuck in his backpack.
But yeah, so you're able to sort of get back there. Mazzy's mum greets you all once again. She's very, very happy to see you guys are all fine. Caleb hasn't come back. He's at the library today doing a lot of librarian work.
Did we give him the keys back?
No, we didn't.
Wait.
Oh,
keys
we'll
back.
leave them
He
at the house.
left us some keys to get in, I think.
He did give us a key.
Yeah.
He did. Oh yes, he did give you a key
We'll-
just in case you got locked in. Yeah.
We
So
haven't given that back.
yeah,
We'll
you
leave
haven't
him
given
here.
that back.
Leave
We'll
it for
leave
him.
it for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he was supposed to have it anyway, so I don't
Yeah,
think
no, he
if
wasn't.
they notice it's lost, it won't go to him. I don't
Yeah.
hope.
I think he just said, "Oh, I found it." But, there you go.
And
I know he's your brother. I think he's a squealer. I think if they
yeah,
torch
he's
him,
not
that'd be
really
cool.
got the.
He was adopted,
blood,
wasn't
is he? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no,
Mazzy
you-
as well.
Mazzy-
Mazzy and Daviag were adopted.
He hasn't got the Calhoun blood. He's not a fighter.
He's a reader.
Yeah, he's a leader.
But yeah, you are now back at the farm. What would you like to
Make Mazzy
do?
some arrows.
Make Mazzy some arrows.
We
What
go build some-
arrows?
So it's about midday, you say?
It's about midday.
So I can do this and not forfeit a long rest.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to message Markul? Because I think if he can come along, that'd be good. Also, he can get here within today, I think.
Yes.
We can head off tomorrow. I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, where's Mazzy's sister?
She is off.
I'm just going to rest the seismic
she's
arrow
like,
on
I
my
mean,
bow.
maybe
Like,
slightly retcon something
No.
on terms of our preparation, or we can just say that this is what Oramis is doing. He's going back to the city to buy stuff like healing potions. Do we want to look?
Well,
into
should we
never
just
came
say I
first,
stayed in the
but-
city?
Yeah,
Well,
you
yeah.
never came
To
Well, that's
buy
what I'm saying.
stuff,
Do we
and then
want
I
to
met
stay?
you there, like in the
So
afternoon.
did you leave some of the? How much gold do you have? Did you leave some of the bag of holding stuff? It's like
Yeah,
miles
I
of
left
it.
in an amount based on what
Do
we
we have?
think we
what
want.
do
to
we-
Do
buy.
we
what
have
do we wanna
gold
buy?
in there, or do we have just stuff that's?
We have
valuable?
gold.
We have gold.
Yeah, we've got about 1,500 gold in there, if I remember correctly.
Cool.
Yeah, we've got 1,500 gold.
I have
Yeah.
720 of my own
Right.
gold.
I don't know how much they are. I need to find out. But I think you probably want like maybe 2 healing potions each. I mean, you've got.
I've got a healing potion still.
But you can take it as a bonus action,
And
can't you?
You can take your
And I've still
own
got-
as a bonus.
You can
action.
take your
Okay.
own as a
And
bonus
I've still got
action.
my other actual healing spells.
Do you have any bonus healing? Like bonus action healing?
I've got. No, it's low
No.
one, level 2. I don't have any cantrips.
Is one of it bonus or no?
No.
Okay, so I think maybe 2 potions each. Maybe even Doc could do with a potion. I don't know. Do you want one?
Don't know.
Because you gain healing back from your healing.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as essential. Also, they're quite expensive. I know we've got a lot of cash, but they're quite expensive for what they are.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
It's that, and it's what else do we want to buy? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, what
did
else?
we want to have a look into the price of that scroll?
Yeah. Well, I fully trust my man Oramis to get a good deal on it. So
That's the one thing we can trust for us.
yeah, the issue, is
Getting
not,
good
the issue is
deals.
not buying it at a good price. The issue is actually finding somewhere that sells it.
I mean,
That's
do we
true.
want to say hypothetically that I just booked it, and then left you guys the gold so that you guys can sort out stuff,
Yeah.
so that Gylndan, Mazzy, and
So-
Oramis can all, I mean, I think maybe.
Well, we've headed back because it takes ages to make these arrows.
Right.
So we've
What
headed
arrows are you
back.
making him?
Bestow curse ones,
Oh,
I think would be
that's
quite
cool.
cool. And we could do multiple. How many do you want? Are you going to let us do in one go?
Depends how long you want to stay there. So obviously in one go for one spell it is 8 hours.
Okay, so one spell we're doing then. Yeah, so I think Oramis would stay and do the shopping.
Okay, so how much does
A
a
little bit of
so
retail
we can sort of
therapy.
shortcut this a little bit then. How much would a scroll of teleportation circle cost us?
Scroll of Teleportation Circle, it's a 5th level spell.
Never accept the first
So
price.
I would say 1,200 gold pieces.
Okay.
Oramis, get on that.
And how much are the various healing potions?
A basic healing potion for 2d4 plus 4 is 25 gold pieces. A superior one is 50.
Do one superior.
What's Superior do?
4d4 plus 4 or 2d4 plus 4.
44.
Isn't that greater? I thought superior was 8.
Yes, sorry. So yeah, it basically goes up by 2d4 with each one and 25 gold for each one. So
34, 44.
Well, if we get greater here.
oh yeah, and then yeah, 2d4, 44, 8d4, and that's all the healing potions you can get, and they go up by 25 gold per thing. So regular 25, greater
50.
50, superior 75.
Okay.
It depends what the purpose of them is. Like I think it's just a case of so like when I Misty stepped to you in that last combat. If I had a healing potion, I could have got you up.
Mm.
So it doesn't need to be an excellent healing potion. It's just about being able to get people up because you don't have any way to get people up, do you? And
No.
but you do.
I do.
So I don't know if it's just a case of maybe you two take smaller ones and we take bigger ones. It's just to get people off their feet.
It's a top
On
up
their feet.
if you think it'll bring you over. So, it's a top up if you think it'll bring you over the limit to survive an extra hit. So if you've got like 1 HP, there's not much point taking one because it'll only get you up to like 8 or 10 or something, and you'll probably go down anyway. But if you've got sort of 9 HP and then you can get up to like 16 maybe, that might be enough for you to survive an extra hit. But then also it's that ability to give to people when they're down.
Yeah.
Because also, if let's say the order is Matt, Gylndan, Luke, me, if Matt goes, or if Sam goes down and then it's Matt's turn, he can get you up without you missing a turn. Whereas if you have to wait all the way around for it to come dark, then it'll
Theoretically,
in terms of
yes, but when somebody goes down, it's likely we're all in combat,
yes.
and it's like, well, I've got to take a hit to get away from somebody, so I don't then get hit later, or I've got to.
Well, yeah, it obviously depends
So
on.
what I'm trying to say is basically it's good if we all have a way of doing it, so that if one of us is not actually physically in the combat, as in is about to get hit standing next to somebody.
Yeah.
Why don't we get?
Yeah.
Also,
Why don't we all
is
get?
I think the important question is what's Oramis doing?
He's trying to get a word out. That's what Oramis is doing.
Are you guys trying to sell it here? I feel like it could get some heat.
Is he
No, I'm not going to say it here.
Okay.
Oramis isn't that stupid. He knows people who might be interested.
Right. Okay. So we've only got
Italian
1,500 gold. We've only got 1,500 gold to play with. So if we're set on getting that scroll, do we want that?
I think it's useful.
Yeah. So 12.
It'll be a long time before we get to teleportation, I think.
Yes. No. Definitely teleportation circle rather than teleportation.
But like, I'm not saying it's not like we can make do until then. It's quite a long time to make do, so it'd be good to have something like that.
Yeah. And if we do that, have you got the money to buy the inks to copy that?
Yeah,
into-
no, I've got cash.
So if we buy the scroll, Gylndan can
Money.
then get the spell in his spell book, which then it just means he has
And
to have
then
it prepared.
sell the scroll. Oh yeah, money, boy.
I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't work, but I assume in the process of copying it over, the spell is. There must be something that says the spell is consumed or something in the process of copying it into a wizard's spellbook, surely.
Yes, I would say so.
Otherwise, it'd be like,
That's
okay,
how I
I buy
would
the scroll,
Once
I
it's-
copy
I
it
was
down,
unaware
I
you
sell
could-
it back.
I was unaware you could copy a spell scroll into your spell book. I thought you had to have the spell page of a spell book of that thing.
I thought you could. I might be wrong because I haven't played a wizard, but I thought if you came across a spell scroll, you could have the inks and stuff to copy it into your spell book.
I'll say for
It's
the
just,
purposes
it's
of
just
this.
time. It's time and money. It costs
Yeah.
me 50 GP to do it.
Yeah.
For 2 hours.
I'll say for the purposes of this that yes, if you buy a spell scroll, you can use up the spell scroll
Yeah.
to put it into your spell book. Therefore, it becomes a spell that you could have prepared every day.
Well, like the way I see it, because it's like it's not natural magic casting. It's like reading it and everything. I'd probably be making like notes on it and what works for me and stuff. So it'd be
Yeah.
a very tampered document by the time I'm done with it. So we could maybe sell it, but not for the money we paid for it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once you've put it into your spell book, yeah, you could maybe give it to a wizard and he'd give you a couple of gold for it. But yeah,
Pennies.
you know, like you say, you've been
Tampering with it.
Yeah, tampering with it, making notations, trying to copy things over, things like that. It's secondhand.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually have any of the magic in it anymore because you transferred that in
Yeah.
doing that. So really, it would just be giving it to another wizard for them to maybe put in their spellbook at some point.
You can.
So it wouldn't have.
You could discover a spell recorded on a scroll in an evil wizard's chest, for example, or in a dusty tome in an ancient library.
You just copy it over.
When you find a wizard's spell scroll first level high, you can add it to your spell book if it is a spell of a level you can prepare, and if you have the time to decipher and copy it. Copying into your spell book involves reproducing the basic form of the spell, then deciphering the unique notation used by the wizard who wrote it. You must practice the spell until you can understand sounds that are required, then transcribe it into your spell book using your own notation. For each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours. For each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours plus a cost of
Oh, so it's
50
250
gold.
gold. Fuck.
The cost represents material components expended as you experiment with the spell to master it, as well as
As
the
whether you
fine inks you need to
add
record
it
it. Once
or
you've
just have
spent
that
this
one
time
time
and money,
use.
you can
I do want to add it.
It doesn't say anything about it being the scroll being consumed, so that's up to you, Ben.
I'll probably say if you're putting it into your spell book, then it gets consumed. If not, then it's there for you to do with what you will. I might retcon that at some point, but that's how
Have a look
stand
what
for
people,
now.
because I personally don't. You just read it. I think that's a bit unclear.
Yeah.
It is very, very unclear as to how it means. So, actually, for the time being, I'll say that if you can just sort of copy it over, and you'll still have that spell scroll to use. I might retcon that, but
I'll copy it over. You go back the following day. Hello, my man.
Excellent spell scroll for
anyway,
you.
let's
So
move this on. from
We
this
might
admin
need to
jargon.
be here for 2
Yeah.
days at Maz's farm before we go then. Because if I
Okay.
want to make you arrows and then
Yeah.
also learn my spell, I'm going to be there for 10 hours doing both. I also want to learn augury. I've got that spell. I'll be spending gold.
Research, right. I'm going shopping.
You going shopping?
Okay.
Let's go.
You're
Let's do
buying.
this.
So,
12
I'm gonna buy a superior and a normal healing potion for each of us.
Okay, I think that's if you can afford that.
100 gold. That's 400 gold.
Alright,
We don't
then,
have that.
sorry, greater healing potion and healing potions.
That's
So
50,
that's 75.
75 times 4.
Because then you
It's
can.
300. We don't have
300. You also don't have that.
What do you
We
mean?
No, you do. No,
You
you
got
would have. If you have
1500.
1500 gold, the spell scroll costs 1200.
that.
Oh,
Oh, not. Yeah,
Just
well,
have.
yeah.
Also, like I said, never accept the first offer.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're
so-
the one who's paying, right?
I'm not paying.
No,
This is from the,
it's the
this is from the
party
party
fund.
fund.
Yeah, sorry, it's coming from the party fund, but you're the one who goes up and is
Yeah.
actually doing
Yes.
the buying, so
Yeah.
you don't.
Or should I
get
just
it.
should I just get 2 healing potions, standard healing potions each? Because if it's just to get someone up, primarily.
If that's the primary goal of it, then yes.
Okay,
Just
well,
get-
I'll just get. Okay, right. Let's go shopping.
Okay. So you go shopping. You find a magic shop, the one you came to earlier.
it's kind
You
of
can
useless.
buy
How many spells?
2 healing potions for everybody,
Okay.
and which is 50 gold times 4, 200 gold, and a circle of teleportation scroll.
Hmm.
All in all, that would be 1,100 gold.
Are you sure?
Listen, my friend. Do you not do multi-buy discounts? I mean, I'm buying 8 potions from here. You probably wouldn't sell 8 in a week normally.
8.
2 each. That's is that
And,
not what we agreed?
and a high value item.
And a high value item.
I'm not.
Very high value.
You would be surprised as to how many dwarves get themselves hurt around here.
Do I look like a dwarf?
That is true, but it doesn't really work in your favour in this instance in the dwarven city, I'm afraid.
True, you're all racist.
Ah, yes, accused of racism. So
I'm not a racist, so I'm sorry if I offended you in any way. I mean,
You have offended me.
Oh,
Or explain the racism.
roll, roll persuasion on the offence.
Oh, I was actually going to get this on a.
Oh my God.
I'm going to get this on the race card.
I will deduct 100 gold from the price of the spell scroll.
And that is true.
I hope you will not tell anyone of this. I do not want that image again.
It's very kind of you, but you have cut me deeply. and I think for my silence, we should get one of these potions for free.
I think it's turning into blackmail here.
Roll him an insight check. 15. He owns a magic shop. Insight is wisdom.
Yes.
15. Nah, it's about all ill. It's about all ill off.
I've been I've been racist, but not that racist.
Threaten him. New generations can take a joke.
Where is he from now?
I tell you, he's gone from like Jamaica to Birmingham, like, all over the shop. Fine. But
There you go.
but I can't promise I won't tell anybody.
Well, I will
you
deny
say
it to my
you
wits'
tell.
end, but
Disgrace.
I'm very, very sorry once again. I'm very, very sorry. Here, take your item.
Does he also have anything interesting in this shop apart from those items I've just bought?
What kind of thing are you looking for?
I don't know. What's he got?
Would you buy that for 1,400 by the way, or 1,300?
It's
It's 13.
13.
Okay, so we've still got 200 gold.
He's got a couple of
Boy.
other sort of spell scrolls. He's got a few little odds and ends items. He has a couple of magical weapons. Maybe
What's he got in the way of magic weapons?
magic weapons. So he has a dagger of venom, which deals poison damage to a target on a hit. They will get to make a Constitution saving throw. He has
Poison
something
damage.
that is known as the Booming Blade,
Oh.
which basically just allows you to learn Booming Blade as a cantrip. It's a +1 magical longsword. And it casts Booming Blade at whatever thing you are. It just sort of, you get it, you learn Booming Blade. You can whack people with it. And
That's all she wrote.
I think that's probably about it. Other than also another weapon named Blaze Rend or something like that. I read this the other day.
So you
And it
bought
deals-
over 50% of his stuff.
and it
I called him
deals
a racist.
extra. It deals extra fire damage on a hit and a lot of fire damage on a critical hit. He also has a few magical stones, one of which is called an Iron Stone. It allows you to cast a spell into the stone for later use. So you could cast like a fireball in it one day, get a long rest, get a spell slot back, and then the next day use that fireball. Or
How do spell scrolls work? I can't remember.
It needs
You
to
can
be-
only. I can only learn warlock spells. Right?
Yeah, and you can only do warlock spell scrolls. Spell scrolls of warlock.
Okay.
Up to the level that you can.
Up to a
yeah.
level that you can
Okay.
cast.
So
That stone sounds pretty cool.
yeah.
Those stones are really good.
Just for a surprise.
Just additional spell slots.
Yeah, but it's not really much benefit. How much is it? So I've only got 2 spell slots, so it could
Not
be
for
useful.
birthday.
The
It doesn't have to be a spell that he can do, right?
No, it's the stone.
Yeah.
It's a spell that anyone can do.
What's its max level that you can put into it?
The max level you can put into it is
Yeah.
4th level.
Okay.
And you can reuse it, right?
Mhm.
It's not one hit.
No, so you would cast the stone into the spell. Cast the spell into the stone rather. You would then
Is it a combination thing? So can you put 4 first level spell slots in it?
it can hold one spell at a time.
Okay.
So you would then cast that spell into the stone, take the stone, cast the spell from the stone, and then the stone is considered empty
So you're,
for someone else to put
you're better off putting a high level spell in it.
potentially.
Okay.
How much is that stone?
350 gold.
Oh, you're gonna get it down to 200. Or you're gonna put your own cash in.
Cool.
I mean, you have
I-
to get a discount for
I
this
don't know
amount
that's
you're buying
a,
it.
I mean-
that's a pipe item.
This is an Oramis item.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
It'll be useful.
Yeah.
It's going to be useful.
Depends how you use it.
So it won't be useful.
Yeah.
250. And we'll forget about this whole racism thing.
250 is a little bit. 300.
285.
If I roll a dice now, I get a 6.
290.
Deal.
There we go.
Also, are we committed to spending 2 days for Gylndan to learn stuff?
Can we just skip over that though? Like,
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to
yeah.
sit
Yeah,
here for
yeah,
2
yeah,
days.
No, I've got a whole chant planned then.
Yeah, no, but like, if we're gonna commit, then I also would like to ask, well, either Oramis or Mazzy or someone to take my armor and get repaired if that's
I can
could
take
be
it to
done
the-
within that.
That
period.
that
the
could
ranges
be
that we
that could be
passed.
done.
Oh yeah, the ranger conflict might be able to.
Yeah.
But yeah, if
Yes.
we're going to commit to waiting that time, I'd like to ask
Yes,
someone to
that
do
will
that for me.
that will cost 100 gold for the repairs of your
Okay.
armor to get it back to the.
Can I party from that one?
Oh, so are we like
Thing.
in the sort of limbo of this 2 days?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
say now, unless there's anything else
So-
you wanted to buy from the magic shop.
No.
Cool, take all that money off. We're now in a limbo of those 2 days.
because
You
it's
can
a
have your
spell,
armor
And you
repaired.
would obviously get it back within 2 days. Can I ask you to try and reach out to Derek just to find out what's happening?
Yeah.
Just so we just get an update, basically. We get an update from the north.
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah,
it is,
yeah.
and then we know.
Have we hit Mark Cool as well?
Yeah, I'll hit up both Markle and Daviak.
Okay.
Cool. So you hit up Markle. What are you saying to Markle?
I will say we have to the gist something I'll spend time to work out, but to the gist of we have a dangerous mission into the full disclosure, it's into the Underdark.
Into the unknown. Into the unknown.
We could do with. We need to leave soon, so we could do with the extra firepower of someone who's close by.
God, what's with the racism? Firepower, just because he's a dragon.
And you got the reply. You boys helped me out a lot. I'll be there by sundown.
Oh, Mark.
Good lads. Let's hope he doesn't die.
And
He
you
won't.
reach out to Daviak. There is no reply.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
That's not good at all, actually, is it?
No, that's actually quite scary.
Yeah.
And whenever you
Wait,
Did it go to,
we-
did it
we
go to
know
answer
you-
phone or was it just a signal?
Did he leave a message? My mother said that he was in contact a lot. Would I be able to find out last time he sent a letter?
Last time he sent a letter was about. It was. So you guys were only in the north a couple of weeks ago. His last letter was about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Right.
It was very evident from your mum that he was trying to dumb down a lot of the. He's not going to tell his mum, oh yeah, shit's been hard here, people are dying everywhere.
No.
He's going to be saying that things are going well. He is a paladin now, or he's part paladin.
What?
Daviak?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has
Smiting
taken.
people.
He has taken an oath of essentially oath of the Watchers to protect. He tells everyone it's to protect the North, but obviously he's a guardian like you guys, and he knows what potentially could be
Oh,
about,
yeah.
and therefore it's also to protect against anything like that.
Okay.
But she hasn't heard from him since, and the sending message that you get, Doc, that you send, doesn't seem to discern a reply. And you can find out a little bit
Would-
more about that
Would
when you play your
Doc still
alternate
be able to
characters.
reach our little world? That's where the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
as
he
long
would
as he
still be able to
can-
reach that.
Yeah.
The
So what would be
So-
the reasons for him not being, for Davak not to be able
creature
to?
hears
would it
message in
literally
mind,
be dead?
recognizes you as a sender and can answer in a like manner. The only reasons I can think
Dead.
of.
Is he on a
that
different plane of existence?
No,
He's knocked out?
it can send it across planes. The only reason is if he's either dead or unconscious.
Right.
he dead.
I'm going
he
to say
dead
this
as
is obviously
hell.
not priority right now, but this is a priority to go find my brother, please, lads.
Lads, please.
This is turned into Mazzy's
I'm asking for the lads.
family.
Oh, I've got
His
back up
family
from the rest of my family. But yeah, we need to. This is something that needs to happen.
Is this something you would tell your mum that he hasn't responded to the message?
No.
I don't know, because would you?
I mean,
I would say I'd say there's an issue, but not make it sound like it's we're going there to help him or try and find out if he's okay. But I'm not going to say he could be dead.
Oh, okay.
Was your mum quite old and doddery?
Oh, I really didn't put that.
No, I think we had strong
No, she-
Molly Weasley vibes.
Oh, yeah,
She's
yeah,
put
yeah,
together
yeah.
and could
Yeah.
be ferocious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't-
So
What was it?
My
to
daughter.
figure out what happens
Yeah.
potentially
My daughter, yeah.
to Daviak
You
and the
bitch.
types of things that go on up there, we can jump into that thing, the alternate characters, and see what goes on.
Cool.
At some
Should we bounce to the Untitled now?
Well, I'm going to pay. I've paid 100 gold to learn Augury because it's a second level spell.
Mhm.
On the subject of that,
Hmm.
if you really want augury, I can do that one.
You can do it.
Not today, but like augury's a cleric spell, so I can.
Oh, that's you've got it. Okay.
So
So,
if you-
fucking useless that I've just paid 100 gold.
So, well, I think we'd have this conversation, so you can potentially save that.
Because also if
But
you
it's not a
get
spell
if you
that
don't
I have.
if you
prepared a
want
lot.
one of you to have it,
Yeah.
he would have to prepare it, which could potentially take away from another second.
It's a
level
ritual
spell that he
cast,
has.
Can you do
It is
ritual?
also-
Can you do ritual?
I can do
cast?
ritual casting.
Yeah, it's a ritual cast, so you don't have to prepare it. I think.
You have to have it.
How do you do it?
prepared.
I have to. Well,
I just need it in my book. I don't need it part of my thing. I can have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have to have it prepared in order to be able to do it. that
Okay.
day.
So
So
Is
actually,
it worth 100 gold for me to? So I can always do it, but I just need
Yeah.
time to do it. But it's not long.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'll do it. I've got the
And
money.
Augury is not if I remember Augury, I can't remember the details of. Can you refresh? It's not a spell that it's not a combat spell, that's for sure. So
No,
it's,
no.
it's something you would probably take the time to ritual cut. It's something I think I've looked
Yeah.
at and gone.
It takes a minute.
Yeah,
and it's the
it's
ritual cast.
it's sort of like a
Ritual casting is 10 plus the spells casting
Oh,
time.
I see.
the way I've
So
sort
it'll be
of
11 minutes.
seen Ori described is you see 3 pathways, you're not sure which way to go.
Yeah.
Augury is
It-
ask the DM card. A little bit, but more ask the divination wizard.
Yeah.
Augury- yeah,
what
Augury
he
is
can
like
see
you-
in the future.
You get an omen about a course of action you're
Yeah.
planning on taking.
In the next
which-
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm happy to get we've paid for teleportation circle, but I would like a little bit of funding from the party because it's going to cost me 250 gold to do this, which is quite
Well,
expensive.
With my armor being
I'm happy. I can pay for it now.
Leaves us 100. It leaves us 135 gold plus 43 gold in the drow coins.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's technically 180.
I'll pay
78.
for it now, but I would like a bit of an IOU on that one because that's quite a lot of gold.
Well, I mean, if we could empty out 100 gold from the party fund,
Yeah. So I'll take 150 off mine.
and then,
Okay.
which leaves us with 35 gold in the party fund. So guys, this is an out of character. Half-inch more stuff.
Fair enough. The
Why
arrows.
don't you say?
The arrows you're making for Mazzy.
Oh, I would also read this book. So we're throwing so much shit at you here.
No, it's okay.
Because I don't want to make arrows that do necrotic damage if we're going somewhere where necrotic is not going to do anything.
Okay. Oh, are you reading the book?
Yeah.
Of these 2 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting time. So,
I mean, Gylndan is sitting there, like at the desk. He's got like surrounded by books on the desk. Augury.
It's just like a time lapse.
Some Mazzarious circles, and like stacks of paper going up and then
it's a
coming
bit
down.
like how we were saying.
Yeah, we're in the
like a
background
training
having a cup
montage
of
with
tea.
you.
Yeah.
Except it's just sort of this badass training montage of him just staring at bits of paper. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Dun,
I'm
dun, dun.
sunbathing outside when this is happening.
I'm glad you're all having a good
Yeah,
time.
Mazzy's sunbathing and then just like walking past is Oramis and Trisha, and Mazzy just like lowers his sunglasses and just stares.
So, here's what you read from the book. This book was collected by a dwarf who was taken down there, managed to escape being captured, and managed to go into the libraries of the Drow city down there, wherein he learned a lot of information that wasn't necessarily even known to the Drow. This is a book about Lolth, after all. So basically, Lolth was once a priestess of the god Corellon, god of elves. She was so beautiful that Corellon fell in love with her almost immediately. She became one of his wives. He has a wife or husband of all the different races, sub-races of elf.
Corellon?
Correlon. So she became one of these, one of his wives, and in what he sort of calls the Council of Elves, where he basically discusses elven matters and things like that across the entire globe. The other elves didn't really like Lolth, however, because she was very mischievous, very chaotic, and was basically out to get them all. Corellon at first loved her sort of wild spirit, but then began to realise that she was getting a little bit out of hand sometimes. It eventually got to the point where he realised that she was forming a plot to overthrow him as god of all elves, and to bring Drow up as the sort of most major elves in the world, because people still look down upon Drow. All the elves still look down on them, thinking that they're dark and shouldn't be trusted. After seeing this plot, Corellon stripped away all the power he'd given her, or pretty much like godlike power, and he sent her down into the Nine Hells, wherein she met a being known only as the Dragon Queen. It is here that Lolth supposedly pledged fealty to the Dragon Queen in sort of favour for power. godlike power. So it seems, from reading this book, from taking some time reading this book, you can make a somewhat decent guess that Lolth could in fact be the dragon priest that you're after. She is not a god like the Drow seem to think that she is. However, the Drow are so fanatical in their appreciation for her that, you know, there is like no way you could ever convince them otherwise. And she is a being of great power.
So she's the queen, and she's
We're
like
sorry
back.
people.
She is the queen of this
So
section
she's
of
been
caverns.
missing for ages, and now she's come back.
And now she's come back,
Okay.
yeah. So she
So
was
she was
obviously
raven.
taken down there. She was gifted this power by Tiamat before she disappeared.
Still the calculations going on in your mind.
Before she was given power by Tiamat, before Tiamat was sent down into her own layer of hell, wherein Lolth was too, but her spirit and her sort of godly essence was still able to command over her subjects.
Okay.
And now it might seem...
She's in charge of the people of the Underdark,
Yeah.
but she's also sworn fealty.
But is
So-
she the dragon? No, not the dragon. The raven.
No, that's a different person.
No.
Oh, okay.
That is
was
a...
the Shadowfell.
That
which
is
a
the
different
Shadowfell.
place.
Oh,
Different plane.
So Lolth is
Yeah, Queen of the Underdark,
Queen of the
but
Underdark.
also pledged to Tiamat,
Also
and might
pledged
well
to
be
him.
this dragon priest we're looking for. Or probably
Right.
is. So
Okay.
we're fighting the demigod, basically. That's sick.
easy. Not done that in a while.
Not demigod, more like...
Half god? No, not half god. She's got.
I mean,
godlike
probably more
powers.
like art, or not art, maybe like higher devil or something like that.
Arch-fiend.
Yeah,
somewhat.
like
God
a-
cosplay.
Is that
Uh,
Ben putting forward a suggestion knowing full well what it is?
No, like even sort of I'm unaware of what to sort of describe her as, because at the base of it all, she is a drow.
She's like V. A lot more powerful than V.
Yeah, a lot more powerful than V.
Okay.
V was a fairly new priest of
Okay.
thing, and therefore only managed to
So there was actually
ascertain a little bit of power.
5 priests.
Yeah. There are 5 priests
There
in
were,
the first
but we
campaign.
killed one.
Yeah,
Alright.
you killed one.
Well, if she's anything like V, so he was a little bitch. So. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Well,
She rendered 2 of us unconscious, and so did our library.
that was dad's one. It's fine.
That's because libraries aren't some of ours forte. You know?
Yeah. Books, eh? Yes, they hit hard.
Am I right?
So
That's
if
why
you're-
Gylndan was fine, because he's used
Oh,
to
I'm
studying.
immune to books.
Yeah. Ben learned him a little message beforehand. You'll be fine in this combat, you're immune to all damage. It's book related.
So,
Throwing words at you.
that
So I
is-
burnt all the books. That's against my religion.
So that is the
Books in a pile.
that's what you learn from that book.
Arrows and
A
arrows.
potential quite vital piece of information
I need to
about
know better recording
Lol.
than handwriting.
potentially. This has been a very lore heavy session. So I
It's
I
a
do-
bit
I do
faster
appreciate
in
that.
person, I think.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely feel like we like churning through stuff quickly.
Yeah.
We've still got 40
Can
minutes
you
left.
hit me up with a fireball as well?
What, in your stone?
In my stone.
Okay,
yeah.
on the...
Actually, what
So he
spells
just
do you
wants to
have?
be hit with the Bible
Oh,
right
oh.
now.
What attacking spells do you have?
what can I go up to?
Fourth level.
I feel like you guys
What
are
happened?
leeching me.
What happens with a concentration spell?
The person holding the stone has to do the concentration
Okay,
for the thing.
so I mean,
I'm throwing it.
you could do any Glyndans, or you could, in theory, do any of mine as well, or any of Mazzy's. Mazzy can't cast them. At
What
fourth
do you
level yet.
do? You want something interesting or damage?
I'm just.
Because his stone can hold up to a 4th level, so you could do a 1st level of mine, and I could cast. You could do. I could
Yeah,
give you
I
a
don't
4th
know- I
level
don't
and
know
inflict
what
wounds, or something.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
love it. You just shove the stone in someone's face.
Literally, you would just touch them with the stone.
Oh.
Bitch,
Yeah.
slap them with a stone.
How much does inflict wounds do?
Inflict wounds.
Split cat.
3d10 damage at
Catch
first
it,
level,
throw back.
and an extra d10 for every level.
So 3d10,
Above first.
4d10, 5d10. Hang on, so 3d10, 4d10, 5d10, 6d10 it would be.
I'll take inflict
That's a
wounds for
maximum
now.
of 60
But actually,
damage.
What kind of damage is it?
Necrotic.
Necrotic.
Ah, because it raises the question of
Is necrotic,
Necrotic
going
gonna be used
Was that
on the
apparent
Underdark?
from the book?
What was apparent from the book is that the favoured method of the drow, at least, is poison.
Would I know, or would we know, sort of as spellcasters what generally is resistant and vulnerable and things like that to spells, or is it like on a creature by creature basis? So could I as a cleric say, well, it's generally undead that would be more likely to resist necrotic?
I'd probably say you are probably able.
Could be yours if you want it.
You are probably able to discern that. Most undead are probably resistant to necrotic. A lot of them are. They are made of necrotic energy and magic. Mazzy can probably tell you a little bit about fiends. Some of them, not all of them, are resistant to necrotic. That's about all you got.
Okay.
I seriously, I mean, I want to have Fireball, but if Jojo's got anything Radiant, I think Radiant would be very good in the end of that.
I've got Guiding Bolt, which is 4d6 radiant damage at first level.
And an extra d6 on top of that.
5, 6, 7, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 would be 7d6 radiant damage. If we've got this time, I can prepare any of my spells to effectively cast, and then just say like I've prepared it, and then go back to.
Oh, that's a bad roll of 7d6.
If we think radiant damage will be more effective, then
I do, but then I also, just for the fun of it,
you just want Fireball.
I kind of want a Fireball because then I like the image of just lobbing this stone and then it's like.
I think the stone's reusable, right?
The stone is
Don't
reusable.
I throw the stone and then I go and pick it up after everyone's
After
dead.
it's fucking red, bloody hot.
But maybe Guiding Bolt would be more useful.
Guiding Bolt, because Guiding Bolt also, if you hit the next attack against the enemy, has advantage. So that's one of the upsides of Guiding Bolt.
Can I take Guiding Bolt for now?
You can, yeah. So, Doc, you can cast Guiding Bolt into the stone.
4th level Guiding Bolt.
4th level Guiding Bolt, no problem. Someone write that down somewhere.
Like Spiritual Weapon, which is 4d8 plus your spellcasting mod and that's neutral damage, and also not a concentration spell. Other than that, there aren't.
I've noted that down.
To be fair, there aren't many great cleric attacking spells. Unless I want to stick a healing spell.
I was going to say put a token on your character, but it's going to change if you put it into a new map.
Yeah. So just write it down as sort of a treasures bit.
You took Guiding Bolt, yeah?
Yeah, Guiding Bolt.
What did you?
4th level.
4th level, okay.
As long as you've got it written down somewhere so that we can remember it, that's fine. I'll write it down after the
Well, I think it's
session when I go
write
back
down
through
what
this.
spell is in his stone.
Mazzarious.
Mazzy's arrows, finally. So you're putting bestow curse. What is the curse that you're putting? What is the curse that you're putting?
Oh, we have to
in?
decide here, no.
Do you want to go for something interesting? Instead of damage, do you want to go like disadvantage on an ability check or something? Or a saving throw?
Well, I mean, everything I have right now is damage, so
Yeah,
we could
so I don't know
mix
if
it up a bit. We just got to make sure that it's specific to what we're about to face.
Yeah, but
So,
I think
that's fine.
failing saving throws, it depends how Ben wants to rule it. Would it be concentration? So say
So
if it's
if you were
embedded in the
to-
tip of the arrow, if he fires an arrow into something, does it have disadvantage until it pulls it out or until Mazzy's concentration goes?
So I would say that you would have an arrow. If you were to put it into one arrow, I would say, okay, so you fire that arrow. On a hit, they make a save against a wisdom save against the arrow's effect.
Yeah.
If they pass, they don't take anything. If they maybe, and if they fail, then they get disadvantage on
Saving throws
until at the end of every turn they can make the
that's
save
basically
again.
what bestow curse is. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you were to put it into multiple arrows, I would say instead of disadvantage, it's minus 1d4 from saving throws.
What would you call? Would it just have to be one arrow for the spell?
One arrow for
So
the...
we're doing a spell, we're casting it for 8 hours, but if I said, look, I'll giving you 2 arrows, for that 8 hours it's split over, then it'd be...
Then it'd be minus 1d4.
How many arrows can I specifically?
As many as you want, then if it's more, it's 3, then it's...
What's your limit?
I'd probably say limit is about... Well, he can hold in one of his pouches a maximum of 5 magical arrows in one of these extra pouches.
Okay.
Oh, it's 5 and okay.
How many have you got then at the moment?
How many pouches do I have? I thought
So
I just created a new one.
you have
Where's my thing?
5 pouches. One of them is for 5 pouches plus
I've made
a pouch for 20.
Oh my.
Yeah, because I
Regular arrows.
put Bestow Curse added on down here. 'Cause I thought-
Yeah. So so you got
right.
5.
Technically, I'm using the frost arrows then because I've got 0 frost arrows right now.
Yeah.
So I could have up to 5 if I wanted.
Yeah. You
Okay,
can
can
have
I
up to
make
5.
5 and it will just be minus?
Wait, no,
it'll be
sorry.
4.
The ranges, Veil uses. That's not an arrow, is it?
No, that's not an arrow. That was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
something
so it's
I
fine. It's
yeah,
fine.
you can just put on.
1, 2, 3, 4,
So you have regular arrows
So
plus
heavily edited.
I
1,
literally
2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect.
Stay at that.
Oh, that's not too bad.
That man's got a belt with all of his arrows on.
So
Oh
you
my God.
can make me an Arcana check.
Yeah, we'll bring it around.
The
Oh, this one.
DC is 12 plus the level of the spell
15.
plus the amount of arrows you're putting it into, halved, rounded down.
20 halved, so it's 10. Yeah. So it's 10
Yeah.
plus the
12
level, 12 plus the level
plus
of
the spell
is
is
17. Plus.
No, Bestow Curse
level of
is
spell is
15.
Oh, it's a 3 third level, so yeah, 15. And then you said plus something else.
plus the amount of arrows you're putting it into,
5 arrows.
halved,
5 arrows.
rounded down.
So
that's 2.
Adding that to the total.
Adding that to the total.
So
you
it's
need to roll
20.
17.
17. Because
So
it's
five
12.
arrows. Oh, so you're
plus
halving the
3,
arrows.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
half the arrows.
Yeah.
So 12 plus 3, because Bestow Curse
Right.
is a third level spell.
Okay, I'm doing this on the first day, so I've rolled a 19 because
Yeah.
I've seen that I'm going to do this very well.
Using your divination roll.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. Because you're doing it on that day.
There your arrows, mate. Piece of
Gracias.
piss.
I will add.
So, yeah, you might have to sort of.
I'll add on your. It'll be in your bio.
Yeah.
And it'll be under Misty Arrows. There will be Bestow Curse Arrow on a hit. Target makes a whiz.
I'd tell you why I'm making them because we'd just be having some idle chatter as friends, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say that I think Dex and Wisdom are a lot of saves that our spells tend to target for when you pick in the future.
A
Fair
fail.
Yeah.
The target must.
I don't know. I mean,
Fail the target.
Another question. I'm having to provide these 5 arrows. Would you assume that Mazzy? I haven't mentioned this. So
I
that's what
can
I'm
assume
assuming Mazzy has
he's
arrows
got-
in his house.
I can assume that.
Mom,
Not-
not my arrows.
Not in your house, but I can assume over
I mean,
these
if
2
someone's
days
going-
you've gone down the road to the Ranger
Yeah,
Conclave and
cool.
bought a couple.
And
of
then
I mean,
I'm
someone's
gonna
going
fully
back
stock
and
my
forwards,
arrows then.
Yeah,
as well.
repairing armor and.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and-
So let me just write the thing on a fail. The target.
Yeah.
The
Oh, I
on
forgot
a
you-
fail.
I reckon banish will
You
work in the
choose.
Banish
a-
because it's a different plane, isn't it?
ability.
Yeah.
Do you banish them to any whole plane or just a specific plane?
ability
No, I just banish
score.
them from the one they're currently on.
Oh, so you could send them back into our
Oh,
plane.
okay.
I've also gone
You could
down
send them to our plane.
No, they go to a harmless demi
right.
plane.
Oh, okay.
Take
They go to a harmless demi plane
D4
or return to
penalty.
their own. So if you're on, so you know, let me read it actually. So banish. You 10% one creature that you can range to another plane of existence.
Score.
If the target is negative to the plane of existence you're on, they're banished to a harmless demi plane. If the target is not native to target capacity,
Boom. Bestow Curse Arrow.
if the target
Cool.
is native to a different
Thank
plane
you.
of existence than you're on,
I'm also
they're
gone
returned to
downstairs to the
their
safe
native
just
plane
to
of
get
existence.
some more funds out. So.
So it would
Cool.
things that are probably native
I've
to
thought about
the
this. This is
Underdark,
probably like the entire family.
They'll just go
So
to
there's
the
a lot
plane
more than what I
and
put
then
in there.
return.
Yeah, David
It's
will
just
have put some stuff in there
Yeah.
as well. Some of his wages automatically
Yeah.
set it up to go to your
So
family.
yeah, so it's like what I've got in there is what I've been there.
Direct debit to the family.
Yeah, exactly.
safe.
When you're using those arrows,
Use.
you can't use Hunter's Mark either.
Right, so it's a concentration. So I have to concentrate on it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll put that in the
Could I argue that Gylndan has to concentrate because it's his?
I'm going to be concentrating on more
Yeah, I
important
know,
stuff.
yeah.
I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that
There we go.
understandable.
Good.
Anything else in this 2-day grace period?
I'm going to have a nap.
Thinking about the stuff we've learned about LOL,
Mm-hmm.
do we think would she still be? Is it possible to determine if she would still be considered native to the Underdark, or if, because of this bond with Tiamat and things, she would now be native to wherever Tiamat's from, like Hell?
All I can tell you is she was born as a regular priestess of Corellan in the Underdark. That is where she was born
Can we
and
all fuck
raised
up?
until Corellan
Yeah, sure.
raised her
Roll
up.
4 fuck up Drow Queen.
Okay. What do I roll for that?
What time are we finishing?
You roll
by the
help.
way?
Persuasion.
Five, okay.
I don't know. I know we started off late. It's been about
Oh,
2.5
shit.
hours now.
Yeah.
I'm happy to.
I don't mind finishing at 5. Like we do have. We'll
Yeah,
say
I mean,
We've
you
been
can't-
going 2.5
Yeah.
hours. We've been going 2.5
Okay.
hours.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm happy to.
Yeah, I'm happy to go
call it
for like
next
an.
half an hour at some point.
Yeah. I'm happy to. Happy
get
to do that.
Well, I think
Shit.
this is sort of like a nice easy break now, but I
It
totally
is a
understand.
relatively natural stopping point if you.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
I mean, do we want to? I don't know. Like, obviously, I don't know what you got prepared then, but in terms of like are we we've got to travel to this place, haven't we? So
You have to travel to this place. From here, it's not actually that far.
okay.
From where you are currently,
We know,
it's not
right?
It's
actually
very
that far.
perilously placed.
Yeah.
It is very, very easily placed.
Does
Yes.
the sister want to come?
For the one of
can't
this
say
guy
that.
over here, I'm gonna say no.
Is she a good warrior?
We,
I don't want to take
She is
discuss
a
about
she is
it.
a good warrior, but not a very high level one.
Okay.
Effectively, look up the veteran stat block.
Yeah.
That's her.
I mean, if
Within these 2 days, on the first day, Markul does arrive at the at the farm. He looks a little bit a little bit more well fed. His armor has been buffered up slightly. He has prepared a small pack by his side, a small leather pouch of a couple of bits of supplies and resources. He's very happy to see you all again. He's very, very happy that you
Hello, Markul. What colour is he? Is he red dragon?
He's a red dragonborn with a red tunic and robes on underneath this scale armor.
He's a lad.
He is a bit of a lad. As he rocks up, flail sort of slung over his shoulder, shield on his back. Alright, lads!
Okay, so she's
So,
she's
we
definitely
fucking up
right
some
there.
more elves then?
Oh, indeed.
Absolutely not cool.
Alright,
Do it.
what do we know? And I can assume you
Yes.
can tell him we don't have to RP that either. Right, so,
Did you get your armor fixed by the way? Sorry.
Yes.
You did.
by the way, are you telling him everything about Tiamat and things like that?
Well, we can leave that out. He doesn't need to know that.
We'll
Dragon Queen.
we'll tell him that we think this is the source of what's causing the elves to bother Hawksmoor.
Yeah.
And seeing as he lives in the Hawksmoor Mountains, I
Yeah,
assume
he's
got a
very,
vested
very interested,
interest
yeah.
in stopping that.
Alright.
Which I think is as far as we'll go for now. Because I think it's enough information for him to be like, yeah, let's do this.
Alright,
And
lads.
not feel like we're holding anything back, but not also overload him with the. Oh yeah, by the way,
This literal.
we've pissed off a god.
Alright, lads, if we're gonna do this, he's gonna need to be able to do a push-up.
Strength check right now.
Alright.
Come on, Gylndan, you can do
what's
one
the passing
push-up.
DC?
Hmm?
Do I have a divination roll?
Yeah, it's not great though, is it?
Is this the first day he arrived on, or the second?
This is the first evening he's
Okay,
arrived
I've
on.
got an 11 left, so I could add my.
You're 0 strength.
You're 0.
I think it might be
I think it's safe for
0.
rolling.
Is it 11 a pass?
You don't know.
You
I'm
don't
gonna tell you
Ask
that,
it
isn't it?
nicely. Oh, okay. Just for you, Michael. I'll do this. Yeah. The strength save or just strength?
Strength check.
Strength check. Okay.
Well, strength athletics check.
Strength athletics.
Mm-hmm.
It makes absolutely no difference.
If you're proficient in athletics, what have you done?
0, isn't it? Right. So it's whatever it is.
Come on.
Whatever it is, it is.
11.
You managed to do a couple of push-ups.
A couple?
Feeling
Wow.
fairly thing. You know, you managed to sort of get down, maybe do 10 before your arms start to buckle a little bit.
Wow.
And Marco was just sort of stood there like,
We're all gonna die, aren't we?
I like to imagine Mazzy's there just doing one arm next to him.
You come with a lot of
I'm
attitude.
not
Given we've
on
only
the
met you
side. I'm
once.
watching. going
I'm
up and
sorry,
down.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Wizard. I
You
didn't
got
mean
this.
to
Go on.
upset
One
you.
more.
I just
You go, go.
realised that we're going into. Well, it's not another plane, is it? We're going into some large caverns.
I could fuck up a group of things before you even had your first spoonful of breakfast.
I like this energy. Oh, lads,
a bit pumped.
let's bloody get it. Come on.
You've been juicing.
No, it's just been around my brothers again and helping you lot out, helping Hawksmoor with the potential of after this.
What's
Obviously, taking them to
the dragon equivalent of testosterone?
testosterone. Anyway, so the couple of days go by. Gylndan does a lot of reading. Oramis does a lot of being. Not a lot of
Can I
push-ups.
do some attempting to basically bothering my god with requests again?
You can do. What are you going to bother him with on the second
it's
day?
the same one. I'm going
Sword.
to try.
Sword.
It's the
Do
same.
you want
It's
me
the
to
same
try
one.
for the sword?
What are you asking for?
I want my health back.
Alright.
I want these
No,
deep,
get your health back first, then we'll do
these
this one.
deep in. I mean, it's a.
If he
How
succeeds,
much health
he has
have
to
you
wait a
lost?
week.
No.
2 HP.
At the door.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not answering
Right.
that, so
Open. Someone got.
You are the only
It is
person
your
who
house.
lives
It
here.
is your
Yeah.
house.
No, I was just hoping that one of the girls would go.
But it's a random person. We don't know who.
It's Marcool.
Cool. Imagine that if a half dragon man just walked up.
Space in your bones.
JJ opens the door and says, "Yeah, just shove it in." Loving it.
What was that?
My neighbour wants to stick some stuff in our garden with me.
I see.
Yes,
So-
so I'm going to roll for it.
Roll.
I see.
roll for-
Carry on.
Is that all on the
Roll for
screen?
your
Is that
things.
up?
You get a.
Oh, it's a 16!
Would you have to roll
unfortunately
below?
not. Yes, a
Below
roll
a 10.
10 or below.
Oh, below.
Alright, so I've got 2 days, I'll give this 2 attempt.
0. I
That
don't,
might be a 1.
that's literally a 1.
One.
I think
That's
this,
a
Congratulations,
I've
Doc.
got
You're the
0,
pro-
0 and a 1.
You're the proud owner of 2 more
Yes,
HP.
my god loves me!
You ask for this divine
Damn.
intervention on Apollo in sort
What's
of
that,
this
2 HP
brief
you got?
vision
76.
set upon this island
Yeah, I'm not gonna
once
make you
again
that
in this
one.
sort of dreamlike island that you seem to find
82.
yourself always at. Apollo sort of reaches down with a sort of large sort of with grace bestows upon you this
Yeah.
rejuvenation of health.
Excellent. But also, twice since I have had my first HP reduction, I have been knocked unconscious by exactly the amount of HP I had.
Oh, right.
So if I had more max HP, I would be fine.
And on that note, is there anything else anyone is going to do within these 2 days? Or are we...
Tell my family I love them.
Oh,
fair enough. Tell your
Oh,
family.
I'm about to head off to this.
I love you. Sorry, that's very touching, man.
You get a quite lovely 2 days as well, also having proper beds put out by Mazzy's mum. Shikara is fed well, and so are all of you. With some lovely
Is it-
food and things.
Is it like Caverns the Underdog?
So from what you read, it is very, very big caverns.
Big caverns.
I'm talking
Do you
like miles
take
wide,
No.
miles and
Simply
miles
because
high.
we were warned about ambushes and she is not stealthy.
That's very true. Yeah, fair point. Okay, she's going to live a life of luxury here.
Cool.
Eating all them
Shikara,
apples
yeah.
out of the orchard again.
Shikara will live the life of luxury here. The guy you previously spoke to, the sort of farmhand, is somewhat delighted, although still remembers that you've said that she's killed lots of people. So
Don't get on our bed.
Creatures.
creatures, yeah.
Do you count orcs as people? Raise the question, never mind.
So, with that, are we ready to head off?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go.
I'm not a D100.
2
That
2
nearly-
health potions? You've all got them, yeah?
Oh.
2 normal health
I'll
potions.
add it.
Oh, I've
Two
added that, so I've got.
Just
I've
add it.
got- I've
I'll
got
add it
3
2
now.
health potions. You've got your thing.
Did
You-
you get anything from my dagger? I mean, if we're not going to do the combat today, which I think might be unlikely, just what that adamantine dagger adds.
Yes, so the adamantine dagger, if you just go to your thing, I can really quickly add that. So it's dex, yes, crit, put 2d4.
Ooh!
And
It's only slightly better than the 1d6.
description or just somewhere. Description
Slicing dice, baby.
double damage to objects. Properties of silver. The only thing this
It does
wouldn't
more
help
crit
against
damage.
silver. Pardon?
It does more crit damage.
Yeah.
But it's still 1d4 on damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's one. So it's 1d4 damage, and then it's 3d4 on a crit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
3d4.
Yeah. But
Crit is.
yeah,
2d4.
yeah. A crit is 2d4.
Okay.
And so then because okay,
Yeah.
Becomes a
But-
3d4.
Yeah.
nice.
That's nice. Let's have a
Let's
little
see
strike
if
with
we can
that.
get Neil's mad
Oh,
about
good first hit. Straight into my own thigh. Sorry,
Nice.
boys, it appears I'm out of this one. I don't want Michael.
You're making fun of my accent,
Just
boy!
just having watched you do that, he is out.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't blame you. Crack on, man.
You just had to like say you're great with it after not trying to do push-ups. Yeah, oh, I'm great. I can hold my own. And then you do that. Like,
The daggers.
You
I've
just
used
drop
when-
it and it lands right between your feet.
Yeah, the daggers of last resort. I've used it once, and that was to knock 1 HP off the guy that was about to murder you in those caverns. So it helped.
Yeah.
It did help. Without that one HP, I'd be dead.
Yeah. So,
Good talk. Well, good
With
memories
that-
before we crack on.
with that, we crack on. You
Last
say
time I was in
goodbye
a
to
cave,
the
I was
Calhallan
almost
farm.
killed by a demon. Great, let's go into another
You say
cave.
goodbye to the Calhallan farm, and with that, you begin to head off down the long, winding pathways through the Hawksmoor Mountains towards this tomb, this portal, and whatever terrible atrocities are on the other side. You head sort of down a lot of twists and winding pathways, Mazzy making sure to keep the group's pace up at a quite high speed. I'm assuming you're going in the morning of one of the next
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So we
you
got
do
back.
Divination rolls.
Yeah, I was about to do it. We get back in the 2 days. We get back at the beginning of it, and then I think we've had the most of that day, and then the second day, and then we're going on that third
Yeah.
day. 3.
Oh, could be good.
Oh, someone's failing.
6.
Oh.
6 is middling, but we'll take it. 3 and 6, that's all right.
Cool. So,
I mean, if you think if you can use that on a spell save DLC or something like that, they've got to have like a +8 or something, realistically.
You passed a fucking 6 on something that we did in the battle royale. Was it a 3 and a 6? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's true. He made you roll a 6 and then you still
It was
pass on
a, it
a
was
dex save or
a
something.
deck save, yeah.
Because you've got a ridiculous dex.
Still died though. Right, carry on.
So, you head off and you make it. Actually, write down on that stuff.
How far I'll go?
You guys went through a lot more of this than I expected. So, who?
Oh, also Ben, sorry, I've got a lot of stuff to pick at the beginning of each day. That arcane eye thing that I've got, third eye. What should I could get dark vision, ethereal sight, greater comprehension, or see invisibility. Is it actually dark in the Underdark?
I'll give you one guess based on the name.
I'm
However,
gonna
I would
pick
say
dark
it is.
vision.
You've also seen Into the Underdark with your
You
vision.
have.
Oh yeah, is it dark?
It was very dark. However, there was these strange rocks and fungal spores that seem to have glow-in-the-dark properties to light up certain sections.
Okay, I think dark,
As
dark
I would
vision.
be the only person without dark vision, is there something I can do to rectify that? Or is there something that can be done?
Potentially one day, or
No, as in
potentially
the group for it to...
Oh,
no.
well, I don't know.
don't know,
Does
Jeff.
anyone have anything that could potentially give them dark vision? Otherwise, there are certain magic items and things that you could use.
Is there a way to give him dark vision?
Yeah, is there?
I'm gonna light a
Does-
torch.
I know.
Does anyone, does anyone
I'm aware of
have
this, but I
any
always think like a
spells?
torch is just going to be like what's around me, like a 10-meter radius.
Yeah,
I can't exactly fire
You're a
arrows
little
with a
bit
torch.
buggered.
No,
Have you
also-
ever thought about changing race?
Also,
Well-
while we are in discussion, who will be at the front of the
Mazzy.
marching order?
Mazzy.
Mazzy with my beautiful sight
With his
to know
no-
exactly what's coming.
You're
Yeah,
outside
sure.
for the moment. We haven't got there yet, have we?
You haven't
Yeah.
got.
Oh, no,
you are,
yeah,
you are,
fine.
you're
Sorry, yes.
on. You are on your way there.
Mazzy can lead the way.
Yeah. So it's
My favourite terrain.
Favourite
I'm
terrain
from here,
Mazzy.
it's all fine.
There's a ranger spell called Dark Vision, which gives
Ah.
you dark vision
And I... That's it. You know that. Couldn't have guessed.
for 8 hours. It's a second level spell.
Is it concentration?
No.
so
That'd be really shitty.
So I assume I can't get that now because it's like it's something
Not right
that's-
now, no.
Yeah. So
But when you level up next, or when you
Yeah,
whatever,
so what
when
can
you
I-
gain a spell,
yeah.
you can
basically,
get.
and I've still got that
It's
other
also a
spell that
wizard
I'm
spell.
thinking of
Ooh.
getting.
Yeah.
I won't probably be that because
Yeah, well,
this is a one-off time to
yeah,
get something
well,
better.
anymore.
We'll figure that out.
Not for a while.
What can I get rid of? Level 2 spell, did you say?
Yeah.
So you are
Mm,
travelling
nice.
along. Mazzy's at the front, which means that not only does he have advantage on perception checks because he will be making perception checks on behalf of the party,
Cheers, man.
but also it means that you guys are able to move at a stealthy pace
Yeah, boy.
at medium speed. Usually you'd have to be to be stealthy. You'd have to be slow. However, you can
Honestly,
somewhat
I know this speed.
somewhat
This is how I run.
somewhat stealthily, and while remaining alert. You head off, and the mountains are a little bit colder today. It's a little bit more overcast. And as you're travelling along, you sort of find this mountain that the sort of mote of light was on back in that cave. You recognise the sort of forms and shapes of its peak, and you're trying to find a way through, and you are struggling a little bit, right up until you find this sort of small pathway. It'd be very, very easy to miss, covered by a lot of bushes and things sort of in the way, and it has been sort of walled over. There's sort of this wall on the side of the road that's all the way along, sort of more like a fence, and it's been sort of fenced over. There's trees and bushes and everything around it. You are able to see it, and you do realise that it does take you most of the way up. Hop over, start heading on up. It's a lot more. It's a little bit foresty on the sort of first area, on the first sort of little ways you're going up. And as you're heading on up, Mazzy, can you make me a perception check with advantage?
Well,
He's in his favourite terrain.
It's in his favourite terrain. Favourite terrain.
Perception,
Mazzy's
yeah.
out the front, and it's his favourite terrain.
well,
Oh my god, that's another thing. At 10th level, you get to pick another favourite terrain. Congratulations.
Oh, hello.
You
Well,
can
I'm in
pick...
one right now. But
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. But if you did pick the Underdark, I would say that underground spaces on this plane also count.
That's actually very useful because most of our things we do is
Well, well,
underground.
You
Two
also
raiders.
have grasslands, Arctic, desert, and I'm going to add one called urban areas, so villages and cities.
They don't really sound threatening or like they're going to come up as much like a desert. We don't think we're going to be on a desert. Having looked at our world.
That is fair.
So, Underdark basically.
Underdark,
Success!
congratulations.
And what was I
You,
rolling, by the way?
hmm?
What was the
You are rolling a perception check
Perception, that was
with
it.
advantage.
Why should I minus? Well, it's persuasion.
Persuasion.
I was going to say.
That's why I'm Oramis still with the persuasion.
20. Very nicely done. Let me just roll one quick. Oh yeah. Actually. So,
I hate that so much.
So you are travelling along through these sort of grasslands. It's getting a little bit more steep now, and you are noticing these spots to stay away from if potentially there could be some trouble. And you notice this one clearing just sort of in the way. And as you're sort of walking by it, keeping your eyes open, you can clearly see this figure sat within the tree. They have not noticed you. You've noticed it. It seems, upon inspection, to be very, very similar to when the drow were hiding outside that tower that you were just at.
Oh,
They're
no.
sort of he's wearing not studded leather, so basic leather, with a sort of big cowl over him protecting him from a lot of light, with a quite large crossbow under his arm. But it's as you're sort of walking past, because he rolled a natural 1 on his stealth, you're sort of watching, and he accidentally, sort of hating the light and everything, leans on his crossbow a little bit too hard, and you can just hear this sort of ching, this very, very out of place crack of sort of wood noise, and a crossbow bolt just sort of flies, and you can hear this thud as it hits a tree very, very far away from you the other way. Like I said, he hasn't even noticed you. Someone wakes him up a little bit, and he's looking around, but he's not noticed your presence. Would you like to? You can sneak past him, or you can deal with it.
I don't mind actually.
Can I investigate and see if it is just him or if he's guarding something or what is the situation.
Yes, of
So we're
course.
It's not just one when we went to that keep, was it?
Yeah, and I don't expect it to be one to say, like, we'll go
Smart.
investigate.
Smart.
Yes, of course. Roll a perception or survival check
Ooh,
with advantage.
perception. I'm definitely running survival +6.
Advantage 22. Just roll. So then, and that's a fail.
And then,
So,
how many times did he roll the dice?
you notice another figure looming sort of on the other side, again with a large crossbow, not the studded leather, so you can ascertain that they are somewhat the more basic variety of drow, but they are waiting for something. They are almost like lookouts. They both have these quite large crossbows. You can identify them as heavy crossbows, dipped in, this sort of black ichor on the end of the crossbows, dipped in this poison that they seem to be favourable for using.
Right.
Again, they haven't quite spotted you yet.
And just, sorry, confirm, they are not in our way, they're slightly off.
They're so
So we
imagine
could walk
so
past
imagine yeah, sort of they're here, you're here, you've seen them, you'll need to go somewhat around them, but given your favourite terrain, I'll say everyone can roll stealth with a bonus if you wanted to go
Okay,
around
they
them.
can follow my path, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is he ahead of us or are we together?
He is ahead of you, as in he's at the front of. He's
Well,
leading
how
the
many is there
marching
in the group?
order. There is now 5 of you. You 4 and Markle.
Yeah, so I thought.
So-
Okay, well, we just talk to each other then, because we're
Well,
right next to each other.
correctly,
You're gonna come
Michael went to the Dokrumir School of Stealth.
Yes, he's wearing scale armor, which gives disadvantage on stealth.
So, no.
The only thing I don't mind the idea of sneaking past them. The only thing is if we run out of there through the portal and they're there and we're really low, we'd
I
be in
agree.
big trouble.
They seem like they're waiting for somebody. So
Luke,
they might,
you okay?
they might
For about
like,
40
call
minutes,
out and then
you've been
more
saying let's just
people
go
might come.
murk people.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, like, it could be, could look like an easy task now, but we could fuck it up in a lot more.
I don't think this is going to be a quick in and out.
That's the pub.
I like it.
The portal? You don't think we'll exit here? I don't
I think
No, we'll
here,
exit at some point.
But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a.
quick in.
So
and
they'll
out.
probably
we
not, most likely not be here.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what they're waiting for. So
And so even if we take them out, they can be replaced. Or
if we kill them and leave a body, then more people might be there by the time we come
Yeah.
back.
I see what you're saying. They obviously have a presence up here and will replace with people that aren't from the portal. Whereas they wouldn't think. I don't know. Like if we don't do anything, then they're not going to know any better. They would not necessarily know what's going back on the Underdark. So I think it might be best to leave it like you said. Okay, we'll go for stealth then.
Okay.
Stealth,
Can't
then-
wait for us to all fail stealth. And
Everyone,
that's where the episode
roll
ends.
me a stealth check.
Wait. I just want to see how many
Roll.
people can we get with our spells that we used earlier.
passing our tray.
Yeah, because I think it might be like a 4 limit or something. Where is it gone? There it is.
I can't do invisibility on 5 people.
I was thinking that's the same thing. It doesn't actually.
I think it's anyone within a certain radius.
Yeah, it's any people within 30 feet of me
So
that
that's
I
okay.
choose.
you
So
could
I-
do like a group of like
I could-
60 people.
Yeah, and everyone's
Yes.
like,
So,
yeah.
yeah. If are you casting pass?
I will cast the pass.
Everyone gets a plus 10 to stealth. I'll roll a
Righty.
stealth for Mark Hall while everyone else is.
28. Who's going to let us down out of you two?
Yeah,
Do you get?
I start off basically on 17.
Stealth.
If I roll a 1, I'm on 18.
Oh, Mark Hall with the nat 20.
I've
Boy.
got a 14 plus
Is it-
10 from Mazzy.
Do I get a advantage on it or not?
I'd say you would.
I would, so I
'cause you're
get
in
33,
terrain.
so yeah.
You're,
Doesn't
yeah,
make a
so you've
difference,
got
I
like
got 22,
22,
but
yeah,
didn't get an advantage.
23 even. So
So you didn't get advantage.
I don't think any of them.
I have disadvantage.
Oh, is that what you took?
Yeah, I took
Oh,
the
what's
11,
your-
not the 13.
Oh, okay.
Plus 3.
Oh, I see. That's still fine.
Yeah, plus
Plus
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Makes it
Uh,
24 rather than.
What was your roll?
I rolled an 11 plus 3 plus 10 from.
So that's 13, 23.
So it's 13 plus. No, it's 11 plus 3 is 14.
Yeah. Oh
plus
yeah,
10.
14. Oh yeah. So yeah, you're able to sneak past. None of them can actually physically roll a
Hang on, you
perception
said
check.
Michael got a natural
He
20.
got a natural
Michael
20,
did
so he's put it
get a
on.
natural 20 just there.
He should roll with disadvantage.
He should roll with disadvantage. Oh my lord.
Got a nat 20
You
again.
clever,
you know
clever
you want
boy.
We literally just brought it up.
to. I know,
You did
but just nat
just
20 again, just because he's awesome.
Different kind of 20.
Oh yeah. It's still enough though, right? Oh no.
They can roll a perception check. However, it's daylight, so they roll with disadvantage. Yeah, they ain't seen shit.
Yeah.
It's a natural 4 but plus 2.
So we
So
got,
they
we got
haven't
past them.
seen anything.
Mhm.
You've made it past this
Easy. That's-
small group, small ambush quite easily, and you're able to keep heading on. And as you keep heading
really
on,
disappointed, just starts like clacking some places. I just want to fucking kill something.
and as you keep heading on up the mountain, the forest begins to thin out in sort of replacing for all these rocks and that are sort of all around the area, and it definitely gets a lot colder, a lot frostier, and eventually quite snowy.
Might get those coats out that we had earlier.
Yeah, the
What, in the
pathway.
campaign?
Yeah.
The pathway veers sort of
Yeah.
left and right,
I
up,
didn't say
around in a sort of winding pattern around this thing. You notice a lot of these strange sort of standing stones, as you can see in the sort of image on the top. They seem to have a lot of sort of
Yeah,
random
perfect.
runes and things written on them in Dwarvish. Some you would know have things like directions. Again, these sort of dwarven tenets, things like that. Words of wisdom, random stuff like that. As you're walking up, you pass many of these, and they do tell you sort of the distances of how far you're going. It's about maybe an hour or two of walking before you can eventually notice a lot of signs of rubble. These boulders that don't really seem to belong here. They're not like sort of naturally formed. The snow has barely set over them. Ahead of you, just sort of up the path, is a very tall and narrow cave entrance, through which you can see stone architecture resembling some kind of doorway or entranceway, with statues and columns on either side. It would seem that the dwarves tried to hide this entranceway by covering this sort of large cave entrance with this rubble, trying to make it seem like just the mountainside, so no one would attempt to go up here.
So it's
But
been
also
like broken open.
yeah, so this has been quite heavily broken
It looked like
open.
it was it looked like magic had was broken open.
Something very, very powerful has definitely
So
blown
like a
through this.
magic
It's not,
or
it's not
explosion.
like something is dug through. No,
Yeah.
something has blown this
Is it,
rubble.
is it blown in from the inside?
Yeah, it's sort of all around the outside
Oh,
of
okay,
it.
so it's been pushed out.
Something has been sort of pushed out. But then you do also notice that some of it is also on the inside. So the direction might have been a little different either way. You can sort
Well,
of see some
Even if
areas.
you push it out, then the bits that you wouldn't get would fall in.
Yeah.
If that was Lolf, she's a bit powerful.
And as you're getting up a little bit further, even with your pass without trace, still sort of somewhat active. Although I doubt it is after a couple of hours.
It's only an hour, I think. Yeah, it's only an
You
hour.
just hear this very, very loud female voice shouting from the entranceway.
Up to now.
I knew you gentlemen would come.
Oh, hello.
My goddess told me so. I will give you all one chance to walk back down this mountain and go home. Enjoy your last days of freedom before her army assembles. And she rules over this horrid waste you call a world. And out from the entranceway steps this very sort of glorious looking priestess. She's sort of very beautiful in her nature. She's obviously a drow, her hair pinned up in this very sort of elaborate headpiece, this beautiful sort of armour over her chest, and these two daggers in either hand, a large sort of spider-like emblem, which you've seen before in sort of images of Lolth in this book of Lolth, is there. She begins to step down the entranceway.
As you know about us, you must know that we are not ones to back away from a quest. If we have a mission, we will see it out. So we are ploughing through.
as you've said that, Oramis releases his
Yes, such a shame, man.
And even as it sort of flies over towards her, you can just see she just very quickly pulses back into the stonework behind her.
That's good to know.
Unfortunately, 16 was a miss.
I do get to shoot.
You look over, you want
Wait, I hear what?
May the goddess have mercy on your soul.
I know you're talking, but he's fired another Eldritch Blast.
He has fired another Eldritch Blast. 18, that does actually hit. She will take 9 damage. And next session we'll start off with a little initiative roll as you guys are now facing
Ayo.
Pick so it didn't happen.
this silly bitch just at the front here.
Oh, it's a map.
Oh, it's a map.
So are we fighting the Dragon Priest already?
No, this seems to be a priestess of Lolth
Oh,
herself, not.
can't wait to really struggle against her.
Good to know she's got an AC of between 16 and 18 though.
Yeah, that's good
As-
for a
as-
potential
as-
spellcaster. How much damage did you do? Oh, no,
9.
it's alright.
That's not bad. And on that, thank you all very much for joining. This was very,
Plus
very
sneak
fun.
attack.
Not sneak attack.